All right, we are live. Sorry, I was drinking my coffee right there. Shut this out, shut this out, shut this out. Welcome to Skull
Yes.
Island. We are in week 16, and this week we have Leanne Curtis in the house with us today. Welcome, Leanne. Of course, you know everybody out there. You guys know Miguel. He's here. You know that. We have the shaman in the Aaron in here, and I don't know where Norma is. I'm sure she'll pop in and out. She usually does
That'd
that.
be
Right?
insane.
Most likely.
Yeah. Just that's what happens, right?
No, she's taking the truck for a drive, right? She's
Taking the truck for a drive. Congratulations!
I don't know.
to
She's
Aaron
kind
and
of scared
Norma
of it, man.
on the
It's a
truck
beast,
today,
dude.
right? Yeah.
No,
Jim,
but it's a nice looking green, man. It's kind of like that. What is it? That racing car green type of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a forest green color. It's really bad. I mean,
Exactly.
it's got some red on it, but
It's a dark
2002.
green.
I
It's
mean,
really
it
nice.
drives like it drives. It's a straight vehicle, man.
Sweet.
No,
Now
it looks
it's a truck,
sweet.
right? Pickup. You guys have a camper shell for it yet?
No. It's
Well,
suburban.
no camper shell yet. We're gonna be sleeping in it, so I'm gonna take out the seats, put in some memory foam, put in some shelving, and then
Oh, so it's
and
not
we'll do
a-
all this shit on
okay.
the road. So
Oh
we'll
yeah,
do all this
it's
shit
one of
as we
those.
go. So I'm just gonna
You know,
go, and we're just gonna like we did.
Yes,
We
it's
did
not
it
a
a few years
pickup.
hey, but
ago.
you
We
know
went.
what? You got
It's
to
a van
actually
then, right?
make a
It's
video about
it's
that.
a
There's all
full
kinds of
size.
channels to
It's
do it.
like an SUV.
Oh, okay. It's one of the
What's that?
full-size SUVs,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
So
Okay.
I was saying
Digging
there's a
that.
lot of people that are doing the van living type videos. You can actually do a video about how
Yep.
you're converting your van into what you're going to do it.
Dude, that sells on YouTube, bro. People do that all the time.
I
Makes me
didn't.
think,
I didn't think about that at all, but yeah,
right?
we're doing the yeah.
Seriously,
There
I'm
you
watching
go.
your
Well,
progress
it's like
all
you
the
wonder. I
time.
didn't think
Yeah.
about filming anything on my lot 3, but since you told me, I got inspired. So yeah, I'll
Yeah,
do
man.
stuff about that as soon as I
That's
get things
awesome.
going.
That's
Right?
awesome.
So that's what we do. We feed off each other.
Ariel just saw my face. She says, "Leo, oh my God, yeah, I took all the hair off, man. Shaved the beard,
Look at
shaved
that.
No,
It's all
I
short.
barely
just left
recognize
it
you.
right down
It's
here,
hilarious.
right?
Look
Right. Look at Leanne. Leanne's got the big beard I had, right?
at that.
There you go.
Right? Yeah.
Except hers
I
ain't
took
white.
that off. Right. I know
Hers
everybody
ain't
said, "Oh
white.
my God, you look younger." I'm like, "Well, yeah, with that beard and the gray hair, I look like Gandalf, so I look 200 years old now. I look younger than I am."
Nothing wrong
Right?
with a long beard.
I like the long beard. It was getting hot. I figured
Especially
I'd let it
bearded
go for now.
women, bearded ladies. I don't know. In the circus, they were always a weird thing. So
I don't know.
Hey, haven't you seen dwarf women? They
I
have
don't
beards,
think
man.
my
Dwarf women have
Seriously?
beards, right?
Some of-
Did you
yeah.
guys watch Lord of the Rings or read that?
oh,
Where
God,
they
are
were
we
giving
jerky
him a
now?
hard time. She's got the hair and the armpits hanging
I
down. I'm
actually
okay with
don't,
that.
But
I think that's sexy.
somebody
that's
said as long as you can't braid it, and I was like, huh. So I had to go find a lock of hair that my daughter brought me after she shaved her head. She brought me
Right.
so I put the braid under my arm and like took it off and sent it to the
See, I'm one of those people that I don't really mind hair on women. I'm okay with that. So most people are like, the shock value. And I'm like, I like that. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm okay. I like hair. Everybody's like, oh, we got to take all the hair off of everywhere, including my head. And we got to look clinical like a robot. And I'm like, but no, let that shit grow natural. That's the reason for it.
See, I have a problem. I still won't even grow a full beard, dude. Like, it's weird. Like, actually, it's now that I'm older, it's growing in a little better. But I
Right.
don't.
No, but
grow
it's
that
also
much.
the
I don't
genetics.
have
There's
chest
certain,
hair. I don't have much
there's
leg
certain,
hair.
but there are certain gene types that also don't do that. For
Right.
example, different gene types will grow hair, others won't.
Yeah.
For example, you won't see very many long, thick beards like Leo's on a Chinaman.
Right. Right.
That's just not necessarily possible. They can get long beards, but they're usually straight and they're not fluffy. So it's all concern. I've had friends of mine that they've got patchy spots. They'll grow some here and then some down here, but it's nothing's full. So that's why they always keep it nice and clean. So everybody's got their own style of growing and everything else. So
Yeah, and and Mike's right. It depends on the region of the world that you go to. Being with Norse blood, we're up under the clouds where it's cold, so we're hairier people. To stay warm because it's cold,
Yep.
right? So that's why Santa Claus has all that hair, right? I mean, let's be serious about that, right? And then yes, St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow.
but wait.
Virginia's saying happy
Yes,
St.
it is,
Patrick's
isn't
Day
it?
to everybody, right? right? I'm sure they got the Hudson dyed green already, right? And they're going for it over there. And I love that everybody's getting ready for St. Patty's Day, especially if you have any Irish in you at all. And I'm mostly Irish, probably. I think they said somewhere around 53% of my DNA is actually Irish, which is
well, considering you're Celtic and a wizard, so sure.
I know. That's like my whole DNA is from Europe and then
Are
Scandinavia,
there any
right?
doubts
And then I got 2%
right?
Native American, and then I have what they call 3% Roman, Greek Roman. I guess that was when Hadrian's Wall was built, and there was some interbreeding going on with the Wogs.
Maybe some of the soldiers got funky with the ladies up in Ireland.
Somebody was getting jiggy with the Wogs, right?
No, definitely.
Right.
This construction job is boring. Hey, you.
Yeah, right. Let's go to the north. There's some hot chicks up there with blue paint on their face.
What's going on right now?
She's imagining.
Where's Norma?
Where's Norma when you need
Where's
her? Right?
Norma? We got too much testosterone flying around.
Feminine. Where's the sacred feminine here?
Oh, shit. She's coming, but she's babysitting right now because. And I can take. I can.
See, Leanne, what you got to understand. Leanne, what you got to understand is that the majority of what the genetics that he's talking about was like 400 or 500 years ago. The reality of life that we imagine today has nothing to do with the way that they lived back then. Because I guarantee you, they didn't go. They just went over there, grabbed her by the hair, and threw her into a room or something.
Just like back then that they called heavenly bodies, but it was really a spaceship. So like they didn't have the vocabulary and they didn't know wolfwood.
Exactly.
They did other things.
It was a different understanding of reality.
What was the movie that they made? There was that movie that they made that was about the cavemen. I think what's her name was in it. I can't think of her name now, but they did that movie that was a caveman movie, and they had
caveman.
Caveman. And in that they showed you like the guy just grabbed what's her name and just raped her from behind. That's how it happened back then.
Yeah.
It wasn't like there was schmoozing going on. It was, look, there's a woman, she's in heat, you know, and
not only that, but also whenever the
kids.
Do I
have a gun?
Oh thank God. Oh thank God! Help!
Norma, help. There's too much testosterone for Leanne in here right now. Right, Clan of the Cave Bear. Thank you, Clan of the Cave Bear. Virginia,
God, I remember that movie. That was one of my favorite movies. That actress, that blonde one that you're talking about, actually, she was one of my favorites.
I watched it. Thank you, Leanne. I couldn't remember her name. Daryl Hannah. She was really pretty.
No, that was Daryl Hannah. No, that wasn't Daryl Hannah. That was another one. That wasn't Daryl Hannah.
Clan of the Cave Bear was Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
Really?
Other movie was Radon Chong.
Was Radon Chong? Yes, and that was the other one which we've heard, which was Caveman. Yeah.
Okay.
With Radon Chong.
Quest for Fire was
Quest for Fire. Whatever that crazy face was. I don't know. I was just trying to, Yeah, that was there was a comedian that was talking about that and said that a little spider monkey was going in his ear and he was doing that sound. So I threw that in there with the Clan of the Cave Bear, and that was kind of over the top.
All right, that's as far as a warm up. That's great.
Right. So today's topic, guys, right?
Thank you very much.
Polarity. Right. Let's get back onto that. Leanne's like, oh Lord, thank you. Getting on topic. So
that was just a warm up, people. Let everybody come in.
We got to cut up a bit in the beginning, right? We always got to do that.
Get their popcorn.
We'll turn in more instruments. We'll get, like you ever hear a band before they get ready to jam? Like it sounds like that's what this is right now. That's
you haven't missed anything yet,
right? This is like the band got together, did a little jam session in the beginning to loosen up. Now we're waiting for the crowd to get into play, and now we're moving. Leanne's raising her hand.
I'm hearing bad noises. I think my little green bird is causing big trouble. I have to go.
Okay, go handle that.
She had to change her shirt already once because some bird did her little duty on the back of her. She even showed it to us off camera before.
Edible poo. That's really bizarre.
We're coming up with like a hair product or something, so we could call it. What was she called it? Oh, I can't remember now, but it's organic. It's organic and luxurious.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's all organic, so it's good for the skin. I was like, okay. She was like, gotta go change my shirt now. There it is.
No worries. There's
the little culprit.
Which one's that? What's that one's name?
Velcro.
That's on the shirt on you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that got you.
She's proud of herself.
I told her she should try goat yoga, and because they don't usually poop on you, but when you induct a bird in there and do yoga with a bird, there's a good possibility they might drop one on you.
Look at this. I try to tell people about birds all the time, and they don't understand me. I say, birds are very cool, but they're also very stuck up. Like they
got attitude, man. I had a bird. I called him. His name was Merlin. He was a parakeet, but he had attitude, bro. And because I'm left-handed, I was training him to get onto my finger.
Arrogant. Yes, that's a better word.
I was training him to get on my finger, and he wouldn't get on anybody's right hand because he always had myself going in with my left hand, and my buddy Paul was left-handed, so we'd go in the bird to get on her finger, and it was no problem. When you stuck a right hand in there, he looked at you like, "What are you doing? Get away from me with that thing!" It was weird.
I have one bird that's like that. She won't get up on your right hand, only on the left.
Isn't that weird? He chose that. That's the way he was.
They trained a certain way. They learned a certain behavior, and anything different from that, that's not the programming. It does not compute. Error does not compute. I mean,
it sounds like that way.
He used to get up on my shoulder, and then he'd go after my earrings. He'd get on my shoulder, and he would find my earrings, and he'd start grabbing it. And then he'd put his little talon on my neck, and he'd try to pull my earrings off. It was hilarious.
Wow, hilarious! I bet it hurt like shit. What do you mean hilarious?
No, because he didn't rip it off. He just played with it, and then he would fix it, and then he would play with it, and he would turn it with his little mouth. He would sit there spinning it, and then if I had long ones, he would try to take them out and put them back in. It was hilarious to see him try to get the thing back in my ear. It was funny.
I really do.
Here you go.
Yeah,
here you go.
He is beautiful, actually. So, what kind of a bird is he?
It's a black-headed kayik. They fly like rocks, and you have lots of them where you are, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's why I was not where I am, a little bit further north. Yeah, those are actually very beautiful. There's actually a big problem here in Brazil with animal trafficking and that sort of thing, because they'll catch them in the wild, they'll put them in the cages, and then they'll sell them to shops that will sell them off to people in first world countries that are willing to have a tropical bird in their home.
Animal show. Yes, it is.
Okay, how it's
right, and
the
always have Aaron and Norma always have their dogs running around in the background on the.
You guys could probably hear my possums on the fence back in the back.
He heard himself, dude. He likes
a cat running by there.
Look at him.
Dog there.
Say hi, Blue.
He's in the show. That's a photobomb. He's photobombing.
He always does. He's always back and forth. Look at him now. He's prancing like he's on purpose.
I'm too sexy, dude. That's what he's saying.
He's on the catwalk. I'm too sexy for this show. Too sexy for show.
He's walking the catwalk right now.
He's on the catwalk. Oh my god.
That's the dog's on the catwalk with the parrot.
On the catwalk. Hey, at least the dog's name's not Cat.
I have two African
now too.
I had a dog. He was a little dachshund. His name was Canyon. We didn't name him. I don't know why they named him Canyon, but his name was Canyon. And when you would call a cat, you go, "Here, kitty, 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 kitty." That dog came running every time. Where's the cat? Where's the cat?
Where's the cat? Holy shit! No, the bird is not an African gray. I had two African grays here.
I have three of those.
And they are a little bit. They're about half the size of that, and they are completely gray with black spots. Beautiful fucking bird. I loved it. I was
African grays.
Huh?
Do you have Congos? African gray. I have three of them here. They're all female.
No, so I actually bought those in the pet shop. I wanted to get rid of their birds, so I took them all and put them in big old places so they'd be more comfortable. I just didn't realize that there are cats and other kinds of animals that enjoy birds as well. So yeah, I lost them over time.
Rob says, "Leanne, how'd you get over there?"
I don't know. How are you over here, Rob? What are you supposed to be doing right now?
Right. Right, because they're live right now, still doing that show. That's why he asked, how'd you get over there?
But wait, if he's over there doing that
show, we have a show coming up. We have a retreat coming up.
Yes, we do. Close. Coming up on Saturday, right? Let me put up the thing here for everybody to see. We have Sacred Awakenings coming up on Saturday. Get your tickets now; they're on sale. I don't know how many are left. And so if you guys want to see this show, it's Saturday starting at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Pardon me, 10 a.m. West Coast America time. And Leanne here, everybody who's here right now on camera is going to be on that retreat. And then one other person who I'm not quite sure, Erin, you'd have to tell me her name because I don't know her name.
Her name is Anne Holloway, and she's going to be doing kind of like what Leanne's doing in Omar's and where she's kind of coming and stretching people out. Like I saw that, I'm like, that's perfect because Anne wanted to come on, and she's wanting to start to do this. She's actually wanting to start like her own homestead. She actually has something right now, but she's really wanting to get back into her work. And so I asked her to join us, and she is going to join us. So let me get her name here.
So she's going to do what Leanne was doing over there for the guys
Yep.
right now. I saw her do that
Yep.
when I was on the show on Saturday. I got to stay because she came on right after me, so I got to stay for that stretching. Although with my foot, I couldn't actually do the things she was doing, but I was able to stretch and get a quick meditation in during that. But I couldn't do the stuff she was doing because I don't, in fact, have a couch here, and I would have been on the floor, and it would have looked weird because you would have saw maybe my head on the camera if I was lucky. So it was, with my foot, I have it up.
Good job in a sideshow. Who'd believe a talking head?
Right, exactly. Standing up, all you see is this, with my ugly
I was just
mug.
talking about the Talking Heads yesterday. I was just singing one of their songs that just popped into my head. Which one
Talking
was it?
Heads was badass.
Oh.
That's a great band right there.
Psycho Killer, man. My favorite song from them.
Right?
Very good song.
Yeah, Rob says I'm watching 2 streams at once. He's going back. He's looking at both, going back and forth, watching.
Bifurcation, robbed in bifurcation.
Right? Bifurcation. That's good.
There's a lot of bands I didn't appreciate the later.
Right, that's the Law of Polarity. He was polarized towards our show. Aha! Look how I segued back to on topic right there.
I mean, it's
Polarized
an example of polarity here in this on this screen right now. I'm going to read you just a little something while we're talking about polarity again.
Go ahead.
So we're going through all the laws, all the Hermetic principles, and we're on the Law of Polarity. Last week we were on as above, so below, so correspondence. So, what is the Law of Polarity? The Law of Polarity is the principle that everything has 2 poles: good and evil, love and hate, attraction and disconnection. Think of the north and south poles on a globe or a battery with its negative and positive terminals. Everything in the universe has an opposite. And that's it. That's basically summed up in a nutshell.
Yep.
That's the Law of Polarity, which meaning, good and evil are all on the same scale. If you thought about it on like as a thermostat, right? As hot and cold.
Well, it's the yin and the yang. You can't have one without the other in this place.
That's the part of the duality of this existence.
Yeah.
But just because they both exist doesn't mean that you have to exercise them both. I mean, you can choose to be one side or another.
Exactly.
And in fact, that's one of the reasons of the duality is for the choice to happen. Because in the end, you won't be able to be on the fence and do both. You will have to choose either light or dark.
Right. Right now, you can ride that if you wanted to. You can. People have been doing that for decades, and where they're not really making a choice. You don't have to, and then you can still ride the energy and not choose to be evil and not choose to be completely holy. But you can then use both energies to.
Well, the dark and light don't always mean good and evil. Right. They mean everything. That's the opposites in everything in the universe.
Good and evil is
they are all supposed to be there.
They're supposed to be there. However, one of the things, I get that it's all whatever and blah, and anything you do is okay.
Nobody said that.
Okay, it's not good and evil and that sort of thing. But there is a good.
Cause and effect. Go back to the next. Go back to a few shows ago when we talked about cause and effect, and that's these all correlate together.
Yes, in that case, yes, the cause and effect, the negative actually helps you bring out the positive and that sort of thing. However, we want to be able to try and be as helpful, positive, in service to others versus service to self. Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily the good and evil. That what we consider as evil is whenever we're hurting other or harming other people. That is considered something that's bad. However, it can exist there, and it's supposed to exist there in order to generate some. But it also depends on which quantum wheel we're going on, the amount of negativity that can be withstood. For example, if we reduce the amount of negativity, yes, the lessons might be learned in a more subtle way. You don't have to get hit by a bus to realize that you're supposed to look both ways. Maybe you'll just get run over by a bicycle to realize, oh shit, I should have looked left too.
Exactly, right.
But
so
you
as long
have
as
to
we can
also
limit those
understand
effects,
that at some point, people don't want to admit to themselves at some point, because of the existence of this exercise it is the exercise to have every possible scenario that you could think of, which means that every single one of us at one time was a victim and victimized people.
Yes.
Right. And that's what people need to understand. You need to admit that about yourself, that at some point, maybe not in this lifetime, because
I've done both in this lifetime. I've done both in this lifetime. Like,
See?
and so what? Like, it's
Right.
not so what from the aspect of so what, I can do whatever I want. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
It's so what? Because in this moment, what am I choosing? You can choose in any moment what you're going to do, and you can
it's like being
flip-flop for a whole lifetime.
Yeah.
You know,
You
and then maybe coming to a neutrality and realizing you're the awareness. Are you the ego that's making those choices, or are you going to be the awareness that's observing what the ego is doing? And then at what point do you make your ego bend to your awareness and then quicken those two things together and then operate in a whole brain, not left or right, not polarized, just from the fulcrum.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Utilizing whatever you need from both aspects.
Whenever you can find a balance, that's the thing.
Yep.
But it's like being an alcoholic, or being sober. You have to choose every single day to do it, because it's not something, in the past I did that and now it's no. Every single second you have the tendency and the possibility to fall into those bad habits and those things that will be self-destructive and things that will finish you off. And you have to make the choice.
Which wolf do you feed? Do you feed the ego, or do you feed the self-serving or the service to others?
People don't like taking accountability, and they don't like the idea that they are at choice, which means they create their own reality. And then people say, well, I would never choose that. Well, it's because you're not checking your subconscious patterns and what
because you probably have.
I was just going to bring that up. Shadow work. Yes.
Shadow work.
You're not willing to look at your dark side and really realize, oh shit, all these things that I've done or that have come to me, bad and good, have been because of me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, and people, it's really hard for people to look at themselves, a lot of people, because we have had that programming of like a narcissistic way to look at things, which it's all about me. It's all about,
it's a very me-centered culture, and it's not just one culture, one country. The Western Hemisphere has developed into a very me-centered culture, and now we've got China as well because they're integrating and stuff.
Yeah, I agree with what Leanne's saying. That's part of their distraction with us, because they can't create, so they have to distract. So they become
from creating consciously, because we're creating no matter whether we're conscious of it or not, because your thoughts do what they do.
Right. Yes, your subconscious does a lot of that whole
consciously creating, not just inadvertently thinking the same shit every day and having the same personal, private, in your mind gripes with people. This is what keeps us like stewing in the weeds, holding that anger is just, and I do it.
Leanne, dude. See, this is why I asked her to be part of our retreat.
You know what? And I agree with that. I want to further that, because that's what the programming does. The ego that is the television, the news media with their propaganda and the media and everything that's going on, they propagate that so that, like Leanne said, you're not paying attention. You're just spouting their shit over and over again, which is propagating the same lie.
Or it doesn't matter whose shit it is. Like, when are you telling your own story?
Right.
What's your story of you? Forget what Aaron's story of Leanne is, or what Leonard's story of
Actually,
Aaron.
That's a very good point that I need to make.
Like, I want to go back. Virginia is clearly very active. Hi, Virginia, in this chat room. She said, not being black or white or gray. And like, of course, here goes my like egocentric stuff, sort of a little, but like even back in 1999, here I had 2 toddlers. I was a single mom. I've never not had a guitar on me. I've let it sit for 13 years at a time, literally, and not anything. And then I spit out like a bunch of whatever. But one of the things was black and white, they're all right. Black and white, they're all right.
Right, that's the song.
But they're extreme. Find some gray and spend your day coloring in your scheme. What? Sorry. Why are you saying sorry? Why'd she say sorry?
Because you said she was really active, so she's like, sorry, I didn't mean to be too
active. No! Oh my God! No! Please don't! No!
That's why I wanted you to see that.
Just the opposite.
That's good.
I wanted to acknowledge that she said something that, like, and I just, and of course brought it back to look at me. But, black and white, they're all right, but they're extreme. Find some gray, spend your day, color in your scheme. Like you can be in the gray and then add the colors, but you don't need to be black or white. Like
Correct.
it's not like that.
Well, think about it this way. Think about it as in the soil is where the roots grow, right? That's the darkness. The light is where the tree or the plant grows.
But it's also the life is the soil, right? So the darkness in that case
is where things start.
Yeah.
Yes.
The nutrients. Right? The rock, that which is solid, solidifying the growth, comes from that place. So it's not really as dark, but it is but it kind of is because it's not in the light. And then, of course, you achieve
growing through a cracked rock.
Right, and then you look for the light. You achieve that. You strive for the light, and so even plants in life itself is a microcosm to the macrocosm that we need to pay attention to.
And as we strive for the light, our roots strive for the dirt and the soil and the dark. And they plant root. We plant our roots and strengthen. Right.
Well, so that's the same as like when you walk barefoot. Feel the earth. You can actually feel it. Evan and Stephen were saying, Evan put his hands on the earth and his arms started, because the earth was not like old lady fat. It's always good. It started vibrating, along with the earth. The earth was vibrating and it went through his body. Like, of course, like everything has a vibration. Everything has a it's only through the vibration. You see the light. And what does Neil Gore always say? The light was so generous that it allowed the dark to exist within it, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Or the dark was generous. It could go either way, right? Both sides.
Well, that's it. You can go either way when you're able to see that a neutral space is.
And I think we all need that in the coming years and of this ascension. I mean, we need to actually really truly grow to your potential.
And as within, so without, Virginia. Sorry, as above, so below. As within, so without. Like people are so.
Law of correspondence. We're talking about that. Yep.
I keep telling my mom, she's like, can you fix me? It's like, stop looking. Like, even at 98 and in Parkinson's and in dementia, I still say things to her like, you can't expect something outside you to fix anything. It's an internal job. It's an inside job.
Everything is internal. Nothing external should actually affect your. But see, it's easier said than done, because we have a tendency of internalizing things and getting things on a I don't know, personal basis or
integration is what it is, but it's unconscious integration. You just accept whatever it is
subconsciously, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the bird doesn't wake up and get worried about a bunch of stuff. The bird wakes up, wants to eat, takes a shit on Leanne's
finds food.
Yeah,
actually,
realize it just is a bird.
Every morning it's in the toilet.
Yeah, people have to realize that there's not very many species on this planet that is sentient in that respect, where most species are in the now. They're where we're trying to achieve to be. They're already there, and that's where they live, is in the now. They're trying to achieve this ability to think or to become, and we already have that. We're taking it for granted, not realizing what we're trying to achieve is what we already have.
Like. Exactly. Yeah. Well, but see, there's a symbiosis there. There's a
right, and that's the same thing, the polarity and the symbiotic relationship, because they're there showing us what it's like. And like Leanne, your mom and my mom are more present in the now than we are, because they don't remember not to be.
Yeah,
true.
Right?
The only thing, but to your mom, the only thing that exists is now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
Right. So in a sense, they lost their memory, or losing their memory, but what they're gaining is what it is that we're trying to gain on a conscious level.
That
peace. What's funny is like
peace from being in the moment.
Well, but now is going to be now and now and now and now, whether we choose to accept that or not. It's doing it. So why not just dive in, guys? The water's fine.
Right. That's right.
Hi, Denise.
Right?
Hello, Denise.
I know. Welcome to everybody that's here. Like I said, share this out, guys. Share this out. Share this out. Share this out. If you guys like this, remember to hit the button that says like, and hit the little bell that says give me the notification when these guys go live, because we're only on week 16.
We've got 2 likes and 6 watching. I know more of you guys out there like it.
Right?
Come on, hit that like button, please.
Like
I need to get on there. I haven't even opened it up and liked it yet.
I know, me either. That's kind of cheating, but hey, a like is a like.
Always do. I know it is kind of cheating.
I mean, it's really bizarre. I would have videos on mine that had 0 likes, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't even like my own video. What the hell is that?
I always like my own videos.
I
Sorry.
feel
Well, if I don't like my video, who else is gonna really like? It's not an obnoxious thing. I don't think. I think that there's a different way of looking at that. Like,
But
it's
yeah,
not
I used to
being
see.
uncomfortable. It's like if I
I
don't
used
like
to see that it was an egotistical thing. It's like, oh yeah, he liked his own shit, you know. But still, so yeah, we got 2 likes up
But
now.
this
So
is the
one of
way I
them's
look
mine.
at it. People say you
So
like
that's
your
the
own
good
stuff. If I don't like my own stuff, then why am I doing
Dude,
this?
But see, that's
Right.
I
the
like my own stuff. However, I don't like to watch me again with the
I don't
finished
watch
product.
me again either.
I don't like watching
I don't
myself.
watch
Like I
myself.
don't like.
Sometimes I turn it on. I'll get 10 minutes in and go, I
I
don't
get
know.
kind of like shy or bashful about
I
it.
did this.
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
care anymore.
Writing
Right?
music, like
Yeah.
I like to listen to it, but I don't. It's probably
early in life.
See, now that's a good
probably
question.
because I've heard the song so many times. I'm
More
just
so
sick
than
of it
us.
somewhere.
Leanne, so were you ever really watching yourself when you would act? And did you watch the movies that you were in, or were you one of those people like Shatner? Shatner's never seen anything he's acted in. Although with him, maybe he would have been better off if he had. Maybe he'd have been a better actor. Anyway, I'm just saying with Shatner. But Leanne, on a serious note, I know I hate to do this because now I'm kind of interviewing you, but were you one of those people that would watch your own movies, or did you not, or where were you on that whole scale?
Well, Leonard, I can tell you that.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill.
Hold on.
And
No,
Jeff
no,
Bezos
no, no.
and
That's not right.
King and the Captain Kirk, and I'm gonna take my breed and I'm gonna cut it down because my jaw don't fit through the thing, and then we're done, right?
And then we're done, right? Okay, good, because I have to go and smoke some more dope. I mean,
Jeff Bezos probably doesn't smoke weed. Why do I feel like the guy doesn't get high? He probably should. That's a whole other conversation for a different show, maybe on Writing the Frequency, about like why does Jeff Bezos not smoke marijuana? That'll be when you come on.
There you go.
I know, it's getting to that point, truly. It's getting to that point where, you look at somebody and go, why don't you smoke? And it goes back to Adam Ant. You don't drink, you don't smoke. What do? You don't drink, you don't smoke. Right? Great song.
Yeah, people are totally like completely
subtle innuendos follow.
Yep.
There must be something inside.
Because they have something
else, right? There's
They've always got something. We are polar. We are polar beings. We're gonna have dark. We're gonna have that light in us. Yes, let's not hurt people.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Right.
Let's not steal from people. Let's not force people. That is the sin in my book. The golden rule. Follow the golden rule. But these hermetic principles are good too, because look how much discussion.
Do no harm to others.
Do you guys see why we have all created this retreat? Do you see how much fun it's going to be?
I caught it.
That's it.
She caught it.
This energy is already ramping up if y'all don't notice.
Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
No, they didn't catch it. I caught it.
Oh,
She got it.
That's why I said you guys didn't catch it. She did. She caught it.
And then kiss me? That's gross.
I know, right? They take a time to kiss you. Thanks for catching that, boss. Come here and kiss me.
I'm sorry, that's a bit much. I had problems when I drive over my dog's crap, so catching it in my hand, sorry, isn't gonna happen. That's just me.
Yeah, but like dog and parrot, much different kind of crap.
Right.
True,
Like,
true that. But to me, crap is crap. I'm sorry.
I'm usually not the one to like circle back.
Virginia was posting. She said 420. She first said 450, but she meant 420 versus 2120 on it. And then she said for the next show. And Virginia, just so you know, I'm the only one who off camera didn't have a little something before the show.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, except for those people in states where it's illegal, they didn't do anything either.
Yes, that's right. Like I pretended with everybody else, but
right. But like Bill Clinton, he never inhaled. It was just
no, he never inhaled. He was just doing it for show for everybody else.
Right? You're looking.
These are not the drugs you're looking for. 420 5150 is what she was trying to put, and maybe she's high because she put 450 2021 right? 420 5150. Somebody is smoking something or drinking something over there, Virginia.
Hey, as long as they're having a good time watching us, not a problem.
Same patient. 5150. Isn't that what that means?
Yeah.
What is 5150?
It's like the call. It's like the call for like a crazy person. Yeah.
Yeah. 5150. They like observation because they think that you're on drugs or you're cuckoo or something's going on, right? Yeah, we did a
Right, well,
show.
really,
with
really
Omar.
like a
We did
couple
a
of
show with
Atlas
Omar
carrier
about
pulled the
5
boat.
years ago. I don't remember who all was on the show, but we did a show on 420, and the entire show we did 4 hours. Everybody was like totally high the whole time. I was the only one that wasn't, and they were smoking it on air because
Well,
they were in
we got
Canada,
a month. We got a month.
right?
We got to figure out what day of the week it's going to be. We're going to have to make a show
And we'll have to
specifically on
with
that day.
our luck, it'll probably be on a Wednesday. Hold on, I'm going to look now. Does anybody
Yeah,
know
we should
offhand?
do that. A 420.
On 420, yeah, and then I'll actually smoke some on 420. Because I don't,
Well,
you know what I
there
mean.
you go.
Dude, you
Now,
can.
my mother
You
does.
should
You know what's
just
funny is my
put that
mom looks at
shit
me and
up
goes, "You
just
look tired."
effect.
That's what my
Just
mom
so
says.
people
Wow,
get
you
high
look tired.
watching
Yeah,
you.
mom, I know my eyes are bloodshot. I feel tired. That's what I tell her. She's up at night, always high as a kite. She says, "You look tired." I says, "Yeah, it is kind of late, isn't it, Mom?" Okay, so let me look here without my glasses. March. It is a Monday. 420 is 420 is
Oh, we
a.
can
I'm
do that.
sorry. It is a Wednesday. 420 is a Wednesday, bro.
All right. Well, then, hey.
It is the
We're-
third Wednesday of the
We
month
should
in
drive to
April.
Colorado
Well, then
for 420.
it's written in the stars right
It's
there.
written
It's
in the
written in the
stars.
stars.
Tune in on 420 because 420 we're going to be
Right.
talking about 420. And you know what I'm trying to get? I'm trying to get some of the Blues Brothers weed, but they don't deliver to California, so it kind of sucks.
Oh,
I'm
that
trying to get
sucks.
some of that because you can get Captain Jack here in California, but it's not the strain that Jim Belushi's. I watch growing with
I
Belushi.
never actually. That's some good
Yeah,
stuff.
Jim
never
Belushi
actually
has a
tried.
pot farm in Oregon, and he's growing. And he and Dan Aykroyd became partners when
I
Dan
am
Aykroyd
so
had him go
Oh my
to Bolivia
God.
and get a bunch of seeds from some really cool dope that Dan used to smoke when he was younger. And he did, Jim did. And so now they got this pot, and he actually let him use the Blues Brothers brand.
Yeah.
And now they have Blues Brothers ice cream they just made. They had Guy Fieri
Wow.
there, or Guy
Baseball
Fieri, I
lunch
forget his
pail.
name, and they made the ice cream with their Captain Jack. No, it was their
That's the best
cherry
fucking ice
pie.
cream.
It was their cherry pie weed, and then Guy ate it and his
There
son
you
ate it. And
go.
they were like, "Oh my god, this is really good ice cream." It was chocolate coffee flavored with infused with their high the THC 81%
Oh,
THC ice cream, and they all ate it and they all got high and had a blast. I was laughing my ass off. It was
Nice.
a good show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be
That's
careful with edibles, man.
Oh yeah.
You
can
can
always
go
ignore
over
it,
that.
but
Bullshit.
just
Time and edibles could have done much.
I had a bowl of cereal, and dude, I'm telling you, I felt like I'm like, oh god, this is where are we going now? Holy shit!
Going
I'm
now.
definitely not driving.
Yeah.
I'm
Right?
definitely not even leaving the spot that I'm in right now
Jim
because
actually looked
Jim-
at Guy and
generally
said,
don't
"You
even
guys
get out
are
of town."
leaving today, right?" He says, "You're not driving." Guy said, "No, we're staying the night here." He says, "Good, otherwise I can't give you any of this ice cream, bro."
right?
He said,
my oldest kid stayed over one night.
Can't give you the ice cream. What do you mean I can't have ice cream? What the fuck do you mean I can't do ice
because it
cream?
was
Yeah,
infused
yeah,
with.
and I
right?
I know. That's exactly
THC,
right. Normally, it just goes against our mindset. It's like, how can I not have ice cream?
Well, they
It's ice
just
cream.
developed an edible,
Exactly.
so the farm's getting
Oh, I know.
huge, right? And they upgraded their pot growing to indoor with now completely isolated from weather. So he's getting really big,
Completely
and they're selling
controlled
stuff in
lighting.
Boston and Colorado. They just haven't gotten here to California.
Fucking
And I
awesome.
want to try some of their Captain Jack, and I want to try definitely the Blues Brothers brand,
Right.
but I can't get it delivered here yet. Eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, maybe
I know. I went to
sometimes
California.
Yeah, I don't know about all those different strands because I still got the shitty Paraguayan crap. So you know,
See, what I do is I get a salad. I tell my niece I want just like give me everything. So if like one day I don't want to be really high, I can just get a low buzz, or I can mix the stuff together and make my own shit, right? And then fix where I want. And then sometimes I want to get kicked in the head so bad that I'm just kind of like, ugh. Yeah,
that's usually why we do it because we want to forget. We want
right.
our
We've
mind
been
to
there
shut
off
down,
air,
generally.
Aaron. You and I and your wife been there, right? Where we were
Oh, yeah.
drinking. We're
I've
like,
been
oh
there.
yeah, oh yeah, man.
I don't do
So-
any of that stuff, dude. So I don't know.
Yeah,
about
no.
that.
I didn't either until they
that's
made it
what those
legal in
wild
California.
kids-
Never touched any of that stuff until it was
Mhm.
legal. Yeah. I used to get so high, bro. I just knew there was a van outside my house, and I was that dude looking out the window. Dude, is that van been here all day?
Yeah, window sketcher. Yeah.
Right. Well, I kind of in my family, my grandmother's brothers, like invented Humboldt County. Okay, California.
Oh,
They
nice.
were the first. They were the guys
founded
who
it.
started growing stuff up in Humboldt. So my whole family was growers in Humboldt until the FBI went in and tried to clean everybody out, and then they all moved and just grew it wherever they were. Right. But my family traditionally out here in California has been growing pot for generations.
Wow.
still do it today, right?
Thank you.
Still do it today. And you can now. That's the beauty. I can grow it. I'm thinking about starting it this
Can
year.
you grow it where you're at, Mike?
Yeah, I can. Mike probably should be able to too. No? Oh, it's
No,
illegal here.
yeah,
I
I
can grow
figured.
7 plants per person.
I can
14. 7 for me and 7 for my mom.
physically, I can, yeah, everything fucking grows here. I got a forest, but legally, no.
Do they actually regulate that shit over there? Is it illegal to smoke it there, or can you smoke?
Well, technically it's illegal, but if you declare yourself as a user, they'll be more lenient, but then you've got the record. And if you declare yourself as that, then you've got problems getting back into customs in the US because then it's, legal and all. It's, we don't want any homos or drug addicts coming into the United States. Why? Because you got enough of them there already? Is that what the point is? You can't let people in America that are like Americans. I mean, what the fuck? The hypocrisy just blows my fucking mind.
The whole thing is absurd.
Everything's
yes,
absurd.
Kathy said, old hippie here, and we've started our garden.
The garden? Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I can keep it intact, but I've started my hydroponic garden, dude. That thing I took a picture of. I'll take another picture.
Look at Virginia. She's going old
squash plants.
Right. Native Americans, right? They're close to
well, the thing is to keep the government out of your property, and you can do basically the majority of the shit that you want. But government is in everybody's fucking Cheerios now. That's the whole fucking problem.
Right.
We're not supposed to have them. Oh yeah, because everybody's going to do bad shit. No, not necessarily. Not everybody's an evil human being, but you got to let people fucking be.
Right.
Whenever you push people and invade people too much, that's when they start fighting back.
Only evil people think everybody's evil because some people aren't nefarious and they're not going to do evil shit. I agree with you. And you just got to leave them alone because not everybody's going to do evil shit. Only evil people who are in service to self are going to do nefarious evil shit. Those
evil people like to control other people, and that's the base of their evil. Yep. Because if you're not evil, you're not let people do. You're just going to be at peace. You're going to take care of you, and you're going to let somebody else.
You don't want to control.
When you want to control someone, you are taking away that free will that was given to them by God. And so, by being a controlling fuck, you are in essence being evil.
Yep.
And so I have my big problem with corporations.
Ann Holiday's in the chat. She is the yoga. She's the yoga master, yoga instructor. That's going to be helping us on Saturday. Nice. So, Ann, would you like to come on with us and just have a talk? I mean, we're just bullshitting.
Oh, well,
we're talking about
okay, well, toss her on.
I can send, let me send
fear. If you hold fear, you're going to want to control other people.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So the control, I mean, that's a result of something else that's deeper,
Right. So they're controlled by someone else.
Back further inside, because all this control stuff, and we don't want homos and all this stuff, that's all a symptom of people holding fear.
Right.
Which is
I need to control my thoughts. I need to make sure that the people that are here are going to be docile and controllable, and that they're going to follow my edicts, and they're going to do. I can't let somebody that goes against the norms come in here. Oh no! God.
Right. Yeah, against what we declare as norm, even though we're allowing and paying for, being the federal government with the CIA, them to bring fentanyl from China and Central America to kill half of the population of our children, so they get their black ops money in the background. But we don't want those potheads in here because people who smoke pot actually cure cancer. They're kind of cool.
Because it opens you up. It's like
also
because then it makes you remember
a lot of healing on a lot of different things.
It's all about
you end up being more free
from understanding who and what we are. It's all about suppressing our evolution. It all goes back to the same thing: the suppression of the collective as
making us dependent on them, on that system, and we don't have to be.
Right.
We can create our own systems. That's
why
I'm
know that we're creators of
my own reality.
Creating our own communities, we create that vacuum to where we push
sustainable resources. Forget the federal governments. Forget all this crap. Ubuntu.
Don't depend on them.
You know what I mean? We ourselves, man. We can do this. We don't need. That's why I wrote a book about that. About how people can understand how to survive without all of this. Right. Oh, here's another one. Ann says she has Alzheimer's, so another looks like Ann's got a relative.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
To where we have a relative.
I think a lot of us can relate. At least two of us on here.
Yeah.
All that's gone way up, and it has probably a lot to do with what they put in our food, what they put in the
water.
They wanted to come on. She said, I currently am on bathroom monitoring of my mom taking a shower. So no, thank you. Sorry.
We get it.
On right now
no problem.
because she has Alzheimer's. I get you. I get you. I understand you, because right now I turned on the television and I can actually see the reflection of my mother looking into the dining room to make sure she's still sitting there. And I have an alarm on the front door, so she can't just open the door and walk off without me
I
seeing
have
her.
a baby monitor going all day. I had to take this one into the vet, and it's like a 7-block walk. So I thought, okay, you're a phone whore. Call the house on one of your cell phones, keep it plugged into your ear, keep it on speakerphone so that if she starts getting whacked, like you can talk to her while you about face and walk home.
And go head back.
As it turns out, she stayed asleep, mumbled like 2 times. I got home in time to see, Mr. Hospice Doctor, who decided that my mom's not dying fast enough for the federal government's guidelines, and is they're discharging her. They're discharging her from home hospice care because she didn't croak fast enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She didn't croak fast enough, right? And that's, I'm concerned with that. I said that about my mom. If you put her to a home, she's got 3 months if she's lucky, because depending on the home that you put her in, they're gonna. She's had a nice life. I think we need to let that one.
Well, guess what? My grandmother didn't last a week and a half in the home. Actually, she didn't last a week.
See?
3 days in, they were going to visit her for the first time. They got a phone call on the way. She had already passed. And it's like, you all knew that. She spent her entire life on that farm, and you take her off that farm because nobody can handle her shit anymore. Guess what? Life is over. I saw that to both my great-grandparents also. When they went to the home, at least they lasted 2 years, but, they were also gone.
You're just validating what I did, man. I literally dropped my life like a hot potato. I have not seen Los Angeles. My husband, my Yorkshire Terrier, my cat, my parakeets, which are now like at least 10 less than there were when my cat was 20 pounds when I left. She's 6 pounds now, both getting subcutaneous fluid from my husband, who's like living there. Just, we didn't know. I got here February 7th, 2019, and my mom's still here. And so that's just what I did. And it's just been really weird and really amazing and really fucked up and really frustrating.
Well, I like what
like all of it.
And I like Anne's attitude, right? It's a lot, but we have fun.
Right. But that's a choice.
Yeah.
That's a choice. How many people can come into a situation like this?
Let me give you a little bit of that. While I was in the hospital, I had to have my brother come over and take care of my mom. My brother has only laid eyes on my mother twice in the last year, so my mom didn't know who my brother was. So she was freaked out. She didn't understand. Yeah, and he lives 2 miles away. So she was freaked out and thought my brother was some criminal and didn't understand what happened to me, and that my brother he was up to something, right? So my brother then messed up my mom's somehow, I don't know how, messed up my mom's meds that I already had in the tray that was listed as morning and nighttime pills every single day in order. And then in with the pills was a piece of paper that you open up and it unfolds and it tells you what she's supposed to take at what time of the day that coincides with the tray. And so he couldn't figure that out, neither could his wife, because they're both brainiacs and they're really smart. They're smarter than I am. So they couldn't figure that out, and they messed up my mother's medicines. Well, since she has Alzheimer's, she did not have any of her memory pills, so she was flipped the hell out. So by the time I got home, my sister kid came up and has spent a couple of days with my mom trying to right the train wreck. So by the time I got home, my mother was not trusting anyone. And in fact, she would go to the bathroom and lock her bedroom door. And it's just now a week later where I've gotten her to where she does that about half the time now, and she doesn't lock it. So I had to put her back together with her medicine and everything that was going on. So I had to deal with all of that, right, with my mom. And, and
limping around. Don't forget.
And limping around. Right, I'm not even supposed to be walking on my foot. I got a cane and a walker, and I finally got my knee scooter, which is death. I'm gonna have to put a pad on that thing. People pay $50 for a pad. The damn machine is $100, and they pay $50 for another pad. So I'm manufacturing a pad because they sit down on that's crazy, right? So I have all that going on, right? But she's doing better, and that just shows if you're not in for a penny and in for a pound. Like you said, and during that time, I'm in the hospital. I'm still at this point not sure if they're going to take off half my foot. And I have my sister-in-law going, if you took better care of yourself, you wouldn't have this problem. And you deserve to have a life. You deserve to go to a movie if you want to. You deserve to have a relationship with a woman if you want to. And I'm like, maybe we should put this woman down. right? I'm
I
waiting for
project my
this thing-
programming all over you now. I cast the spell all over you now.
Yeah. And so that's what I had to deal with while I was in there. So once I got out, of course, now I got her back to normal. They check on me. How's mom? Mom's normal now because you're not around.
Exactly. You're not around, Ashley.
Yeah. So yeah. So and so I'm hearing from my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, the same crap that, like you said, that's programmed from the nurses and the doctors of,
Yep.
well, you got to think of her quality of life now.
No, you
That's
have
bullshit.
to
They're just salesmen. They're just salesmen saying we're thinking how much we can suck out of you for this old person that's going to be gone, but you're still here with your emotional attachments, and you're willing to pay anything
parting out
to
her
get your
body
guilt out of
parts,
you.
sell them off to other people when she's gone.
We're going to cremate her so that you really don't. And here's the bottle of ashes of your loved one
What was left
while
over
they sold her off for
skin, but not all
$2,500.
the organs that we sold as a hospital to other people for $1.6 million. Yeah.
Exactly. But they'll never tell you that, and they'll deny it through the teeth all the entire time because nobody would be that.
That was one of your African birds just said, Leanne, that was there. That was pretty.
That's the oldest one. She's 32 years old.
She just flew off.
32 years old. Holy shit, that's an old fucking bird.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, those birds get to be quite old.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So yeah, unfortunately, we all kind of go through that, and anyone who does this, Virginia, Leanne, Anne, anyone else out there that's listening, that if you're taking care of a loved one of any kind, whether it doesn't matter if it's a mother or a father or a brother or a sister, if in any way you are in service to others and you're sacrificing a part of your life to do this, understand that you are the biggest rock star on the face of the earth for doing what you're doing, because it takes patience. Sometimes you pull your hair out. Sometimes you want to yell and scream. Sometimes you just need to
Sometimes you yell and scream and say really mean things, and then you have to go into the next moment and not forget that you did that, but try to be the best version of yourself moving forward and not get all hung up on that time you called your mom a fucking pain, and you're such a fucking pain in the ass. Oh my God.
Right. You have to own it, go, I said that, and it's a good thing she's
I didn't mean it
not
like that.
No, I didn't mean it like that in that moment. Like, I'm accountable, and I'm straight up right in her face, and I'll tell her, like, I am feeling
right.
And she just shit on my jeans now. Like,
that bird is a poop making machine, I think,
That's one of the reasons why my birds were not inside the house but outside, because the smell, the way it ends up permeating the entire house, ends up being just a bit too much. Whenever it's outside, you can clean it up, and they're around their cage, because their cage used to be right there.
I miss the smell of the bird. I miss the smell of having a bird. They have a scent. All animals.
They all smell different. African Grey smell one way. She smells like cake and cookies. My friend calls her Cake Bird. My friend Art.
Cake,
Cake
Bird. That's cute. That's good.
Because you smell good. Yeah. Blue and gold, macaws smell really good. I don't care for the way Pioneus parrots smell. They have a funny. Blue and gold.
Right. That's just because what we were talking about. Anne said, thank you very much. I'm embracing it. She's awesome. She's awesome. So, right. Yeah. I mean, we have to.
Oh, it looks like Saturday we're going to have a good group.
We have to understand that.
We're going to have a good group on Saturday.
When their memory goes, they're actually in that place we're trying to achieve. They're in the now, living in the now, and we're trying to achieve that consciously. We're trying to get to a place of living in the now, and they're more in the now than we are. So I look at that and I think I'm trying to achieve that. You know what I mean?
Children are too, and that's one of the reasons why it says you can't get into the kingdom of heaven unless you enter as a child. Why? Because it's that in the now. It's getting rid of all the knowledge and all the other bullshit that makes us program everything else, and just being in. Hi,
really? Just being like a little.
You want to play?
Dude, I'm so all over that.
Oh, wait, I feel like ice cream right now. Oh, wait, I'm hungry. I'd like a steak or some meat or something, You go with what I mean. The whole thing that used to kill me about my great grandmother is that you'd ask her, "Are you hungry?" and she'd look at her watch. No, not yet. So,
right, because it wasn't time.
What does your watch have to do with you physically being hungry? And that just always bothered me, because it's that deep programming. They have to do things in certain schedules, and otherwise it's just not right. And if anybody does things other than that,
fear-based. She was like, "Oh, Yen, you should be ashamed of yourself. No one likes a girl who unches." She had this French accent forever. Like, so that's what raised my mom, along with this atheist Russian Jew guy. So my mom kind of didn't stand a chance. She was very fear-based. But she also like had connection to source in that she was a composer. She was always with music, always.
There you
Like,
go.
as much as she was in her
Well,
head.
that's where you got yours from too. So
Yeah, and then my daughter also. Like, it's 3 generations there. And then my dad's side, my daughter's like 5th generation, like entertainer. They were vaudevillians and dancers.
Right. Right. See, that whole thing's DNA. People don't realize that. I knew this girl that was actually orphaned, or actually she was given up for adoption, so she was adopted. And my buddy's family adopted her, and by the time I met her, she was an adult. She became a hairstylist. Then at the age of 27, she said to her adopted parents, "I kind of want to get to know my real parents. Do you know who they are?"
And her mom was a hairstylist.
He said, "Yeah, we could get you in contact if you know, if they want to be in contact with you." And she said, "Please do." As it turns out, both her mother and father were hairdressers.
Well, there you go.
She had no clue, nothing to do with them whatsoever her whole life, and she became a hair twizzler. Isn't that crazy?
But that's the whole point of, you know, the blue level that I'm talking about on Maslow's. Why? Because it also goes with the chakras and then building them up. I hadn't seen that.
100%.
Yeah.
But it is what you've got your base, the things that you need, the foundation, and you keep going towards something that will be your fulfillment, your personal destiny, which has to do with your cultural programming, your genetic programming, your personal preferences, what resonance your soul came down to come into this flesh suit to be.
Right.
And it chose the genetics that would give you the tools and abilities to do what you needed to do. So endemically, you already are born with a purpose, and you simply have to find it. Now, she didn't go into, "Oh, fuck, my mom's a hairdresser, my dad is too, I guess, fuck, that's what I'm going to do too." No,
Right.
she found it on her own and found out that it was already an intrinsic ability within her lineage.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother thing.
Right, and even as a child, I was obsessed with harmonies and rainbows and blending colors when I drew, like, and I didn't question it, like, but now I understand what that was, and the fact that that always bled through makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I never fully, as much as I experienced some wild times.
I can imagine you as a corporate accountant. You would be happy as a bug. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, I'd be great. I'd be snorting coke and like acting
embezzling money and taking money away from the president and taking everybody's pension funds and blowing it on an island somewhere.
That's what you'd be doing.
Cutting 10% in for the big guy.
Yeah.
Cutting 10% in for old Sleepy Cup Joe, right? Working with the younger Bidens and what's his name, Whitey Bulger's grandson.
Oh my God! I remember when they found him dead in Santa Monica.
Right. When they found him in Santa Monica, right?
Yep, he lived there forever. That's where he moved.
That's where he moved. Yep. They found him. He was hiding out, and he was in a bungalow.
Did I live in Santa Monica forever?
Whitey, he's like, "I'm 98, bro. I ain't fighting you." But then, guess what happened? They stuck him in prison. They moved him, and he got murdered. They whacked him anyways. That was so fucked up.
Look,
if they want to do you
agreements. Mm-hmm.
Right?
You signed that little contract with fame and fortune. You're going to pay regardless.
Yep.
That's just insane, though. They still whacked him. They're like, "You think we forgot, Joe? No, come on, Whitey. See ya."
Yeah.
A deal's a deal, man.
That's why I'm worried about what's his name, the bull, because he's still around and he turned state's evidence, and he just did a whole docudrama telling the whole story.
Podcast.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's got a podcast. That
I mean, if that doesn't show you how corrupt this world is, oh my God!
I'm surprised he hasn't been.
Hold on. You're surprised at how corrupt the world is?
No, I'm surprised they haven't whacked him. I know how corrupt the world is. That doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised they didn't whack him after he told everything. Yep, it was me. Turned you all in, and they still haven't whacked him.
That means how powerless those individuals are becoming, and how that power structure is shifting. Okay, now the corruption will continue, but in other sectors, others will. It'll go from pharma to
right now the cartels,
foods, whatever. I don't know.
The cartels from south of the border pretty much run the United States. The old mafia.
Hold on. You got the fucking thing inverted. The
right?
CIA
Well,
created half that
CIA.
shit,
Yeah,
and they're the
that's
ones running
yeah,
that shit.
our creation, man.
Yeah, we know that it's the CIA that runs the outfit. They're the
The
ones who burn all the
DEA
gas.
is saying,
They
wait,
are the
get
outfit.
90% out. You'll get 85 in that corner. You'll get another 25 in here, and let us catch 15 through this one. So that we can say that we did our job. And
Right.
you keep going. And remember, 10% for the big guy.
And 10% for the big guy. Leanne bounced out for a second there. I don't know if that was protest or an accident.
Protesting. I was boycotting. No, you guys were like a bad Godzilla movie. Your lips were moving, and then the sound came out, and I just.
That happens sometimes. You had to reset. That happens sometimes, right? That
Well, sometimes it happens on the cache too. I had to tell Leo a couple of times about that.
Yeah, when I'm doing my phone, if I'm on my phone and I forget, then I get off kilter like that, and Mike's gone, Leo, reset, and I'll have to pull down the cache and delete the cache so that I'm not burning the extra freaking RAM on the cache. Yeah, it happens when I'm on my phone, but on this, it doesn't happen as often. But sometimes I buff, right? So, all right, so let's get back on topic and away from the mob. Although that kind of is on topic when you think about
it is a topic because it's just a big fucking mob.
Well,
it's just a global fucking mob now.
That plays into literally what we're talking about with the law of polarity, because you reap what you sow. So if you put that out there, like Leanne was talking earlier on in the show, that what you put into it is what you're going to get back, and if you're putting in negative, you're going to get negative. So you have to realize that sometimes subconsciously, because of our programming, and that's what Leanne was talking programming was that happens, and sometimes we have to become aware of it. So that's why I always tell people the first step in avoiding a trap, knowing of its existence. You have to realize that we're getting that negative programming from these external egos daily, all the time, from everywhere. That's the opposition. We have to understand and do what Aaron was saying, get the shadow work underway to fix ourselves. And once you start working on yourself, you start realizing you're getting bombarded from these other places, but you got to fix your shit first. You can't look for without, like Leanne was talking about. You can't look for, she's telling her mom, you can't look without for a savior. It's you have to take care of yourself and look within. Once you do that, you can combat that other shit, but the first thing you have to do is take care of your own shit. I mean, that's just me. Am I wrong? Anybody want to?
And when you break away from that, just a warning to everybody. Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not.
No, it feels really weird. But you can't go back either. It's like you can't unring a bell. You can't once you have shaken yourself out of a narrative, you cannot see it like that again.
It's like coming off a drug, like coming off a hard drug. I mean, I never have done that. I've never had to.
Hi, Peter.
I didn't either. I just remember what I've been told. I've heard.
Yeah.
You come down from a hard drug.
No, it's like you get. Yeah, you really actually like it's letting. It's like a death of a certain part of you, which is that overinflated ego.
Right.
Well, that's exactly
I got a pause here for my Irish brother, right? I got to pause here. Peter is saying Happy St. Paddy's Day from Ireland. So Aaron and go bra, Peter, and Tattoo
chocolate
Faye
and blueberry waffles. Don't forget that.
And my brother in
Come
Ireland.
on, speak some Gaelic, bro.
A little bit of Gaelic coming out there. Yeah, speaking some Gaelic.
I heard it.
Right.
I'm Irish
What I said was Aaron Gabra means Ireland forever, and I said formally, I said Tattoo Faye, and that's formal. How are you doing in Irish? But that was formal, not even though we're personable. I could have just said, not with the tattoo. I could have just said Tufayan or so we'll see if he's going to respond to that. I know he'll hear me, but I don't know if he'll answer me in Irish. He might. He speaks better Irish than I do, so he might.
No, not really. He's over there.
Yeah, he's over there, right? Yeah. Right. So yeah, I hope you guys. It's St. Paddy's Day for you now over there, Peter. It's past midnight for you, right? I believe. So you're on St. Paddy's Day. So have a drink on me, brother. I'll be doing that tomorrow myself.
Yes.
Quit drinking. So no more drinking for me. But I will be doing corned beef and cabbage and that kind of stuff. Good Irish meal that we didn't have in Ireland until we got to America and we're able to have beef.
An Irish meal that you couldn't have in Ireland.
Well, there wasn't enough beef.
They had
Poor.
potatoes.
Ireland's poor. Wasn't enough beef in Ireland.
But
Traditionally, you were lucky if you got ham, because you had pig. Usually, it was goose. When we got to America, beef was everywhere, including buffalo. So then America started using the brisket, which nobody wanted. It was just like nobody wanted the ribs and stuff like that until African Americans started barbecuing it, and then all of a sudden that shit became something. Right.
Yep.
So yeah, it was all garbage that they didn't want.
They just wanted the prime rib and
cast it away. Us poor people would cook that stuff up and eat it. Boil it down. The Irish were famous for boiling everything. Boil it down, drink the sauce.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that's nutritious.
Do you know? Here's another thing people don't realize. You know that chow mein. Everybody thinks that is a Chinese dish. It's not. It's
American.
actually an Irish dish. It was
American.
made when the Irish and the Chinese were on the chain gangs working the railroads. And the what they would do is because they were poor, they had what they called their main chow. Everybody would bring something to it. They would put it in a pot and they would boil it. If they were lucky,
Look.
they could grab it or something, and they'd put it in there. Well, the Asians started eating it and said, "All right, you guys got it. Let us cook this. We got noodles. We'll add to it, but we can add some other stuff because this shit, damn." Right. So the Chinese started, and then of course they called it chow mein because that's how you say it in Chinese instead of main chow. They said it the other way around because we Americans, English is backwards from the whole rest of the world. So they called it main chow mein, and then they added noodles and they started making it the way it is now. But the truth is, the whole thing came from the Irish, and it was a stew originally, and that was the main chow that the Irish would eat. They would all put it together whatever they wanted, and then it became the Chinese started selling it to all the white people, and now it's now it's chow mein. Everybody loves it, and they have no idea that it was invented in the 1800s here in America.
Right, because if you have somebody from Hong Kong or from China, is this Chinese food? They'll look at you like you're insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real Chinese food. Real Chinese food people can't eat. But what happened is that back in the 1880s, they had the they were building the railways and everything else, and they had an influx of Chinese migrants because there was this thing. If you came over and could start your business, it still exists today. So if you're an immigrant and you want to come to the States, if you have business to start up, if you have money to start up a business and employ 5 or 10 employees, they can also be your family members. And so that usually, and you'll get residency. And so for the Chinese, for multiple generations of Chinese, they would come over, start off a restaurant, and maintain their entire family and their residents with that. They might have been carpenters or builders or engineers or something else wherever they were.
The same stuff. Yeah,
they come in because it's something easy that they can do that people believe that they can do. They probably do much more incredible things, but nobody gives them any credit for it. Because people only give you credit for what, I knew that guy 20 years ago and he was doing that. So yeah, he's good.
Well, if you think about it, nobody knew how to cook, and then no one knew how to do laundry. So I mean, they were very ingenious and entrepreneurs and saying, "We'll do your laundry and we'll cook the food. You got to just pay us for it." And then Then they kind of just started from there, and then now. Why not? I agree. Why wouldn't you? They still do that. You go to a Chinese restaurant most of the time, or Japanese, you find out it's mostly family that's running it. Why not? I mean, the Irish did the same thing. It's just the Irish ended up making like burgers and pizza.
Shepherd's pie, dude.
Shepherd's pie.
Didn't they create shepherd's pie? Yeah.
No, it's an English dish. Still works.
Yeah, I was going to say,
still works.
Pudding too, huh?
Yeah, it's still good though. Very.
I do. Well, see, shepherd's pie to me, I do a base of mashed potatoes, then I do like a meat sauce, then another base of mashed potatoes, then another meat sauce, then mashed potatoes, and I got cheese on each one of those layers.
You got to have the layer of cheese. That's very American, but it's
7-layer.
Tell everybody yours.
I usually do like a three layer.
Mix mine kind of Spanish style. I line the bottom of mine with like some tortilla chips or some, nice crispy.
Catch the grease from the hamburger, but it tastes really good.
And then I put on my vegetable, usually corn or sometimes other things. And then I do my potatoes, and then I top all that with cheese, and it's so.
Oh man, it's really good. She's
I like the 7-layer dip too. Or now. There's another story behind that. I talked to this Mexican guy when I was sitting in LA waiting for a bus. We had nothing else better to do than talk because you're sitting there for a layover for 3 or 4 hours waiting for a goddamn bus to go north. And he says, refried beans, everybody thinks that's a Mexican dish. He says, that was invented by the American military. And I said, what? He says, back in the day with the cavalry, bro, that's what they do. They cook beans and then they would fry them the next day, the leftovers. And that's how refried beans became and then we just added the tortilla and started wrapping it up. That's
you got to be fucking shitting me. I've been eating refried beans thinking that was, fuck.
U.S. military in the 1800s, brother.
Yeah. No, but the thing that I was the thing that used to bother me was tamales, which are basically cornmeal, flavored cornmeal.
Love me some hot tamales, my friend.
I really never liked tamales. Really didn't like tamales. Because I wasn't ever into breads and starches and that sort of thing. For some reason, it was always
cornbread, bread.
I love corn masa, dude. Oh man.
Bread with rice. French.
I'm 50% German.
Yeah, the French, right?
I'm 50% German, so potatoes and steak and potatoes are there. But the thing about just bread in and of itself, I wanted to enjoy the flavors and the things of because bread just fills you up. Because that's
Right.
why you eat bread. So
Right.
you're hungry, eat fucking bread.
Yeah.
To me, it was just a filler. I wanted the good stuff, not the fucking filler.
Well, that's why if you go to restaurants, first thing they do is give you bread, and they want to give you salad. They want to give you all you can eat.
Oh, they'll give you, and they'll give you
and then you don't eat the
3
entree.
glasses of soft drink and 3 glasses of soft drink before you even
They're
get
going
your
to give
plate.
you a heart attack.
Right?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. They give you the
So
same
that's
course.
you
Wait,
don't
I
like
don't know.
drugs.
There's something to be said about
the only thing that
cotton
keeps
out of the
Italians from
inside of
dying
French
is
bread.
all the red
Oh,
sauce
my
that they
God.
have
Yeah,
keeps
right.
them from having heart attacks and crap because they eat nothing but pasta. They eat starch, sugar, and starch. And then they get fat and you
But
think
it's
they'd
the
all die
wine.
from heart attacks, right? But
But
they
it's
have
the
that red
wine.
sauce.
The resveratrol.
And the resveratrol and the wine, right? Everything. That's what keeps them alive long
No,
enough.
but that's the thing. And also for the Greeks, you have the olive oil that they use on
Yep.
everything. So
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
one of the things that they were studying. Why
EOO
was
is the greatest stuff.
why
if
the
you cook
why
it
the
right.
longevity why the longevity of Italians, the longevity of the French, and the longevity of the Greeks, when supposedly their dietary realities should not be indicative of the longevity they had. And so that's why they analyze those individualities. And so a lot of the red wine in both Italy and France is a really good thing to keep everything in balance, and the olive oil, and
Right.
obviously the wine in Greece as well. And so they don't have that up north. They'll
Right.
drink ale and they'll drink hard liquor and that sort of stuff, and it doesn't have the same effect as the grape. It's just a
Right. No, great.
whole different reality.
Yeah. So if you look at that's no joke. If you look at the Europeans, traditionally they died younger than other cultures because not only the lifestyle but the food that they ate was I mean, you think about it, they lived up under the clouds where it was really cold all the time, so everything they ate was like Eskimos. You were eating a lot of fat and a lot of starches.
Well, you have to, otherwise you're going to die from cold.
Right.
I mean,
that's why
and
we're
either-
hairier. That's why
either
we
you-
eat that food.
Either you last 2 winters or you last 28 winters.
Right.
You won't last 50, but at least you'll get to 28, right?
Right. I mean, that's just it's unfortunate. I mean, you look at the average American around the time of the Revolutionary War, the average age of the average American was 22. The average life expectancy was 37. Right? Think about that.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
37. That was you were old.
Polarity too,
so
and I think that goes in cycles too. I think it's
that.
And that's why when you started getting gray hairs, you were like, a wise man and shit. It's like
Right.
I started grading. My dad started grading at 29.
Did you ever read Beowulf?
Yeah, I read it and watched the movie.
Up, when they showed up to protect Ragnar, the king at the time, the queen said, "We need to go and talk to this woman. She was old when my grandmother was young." Right. And so in their age, we think, oh, that means she's like 100. The truth is the woman was probably 38, 40, if that.
Right.
And they went and she was the wisest person because she'd lived for 40 or 50 years where everybody else was dying off before they were 30. So this one woman who they thought was crazy.
Even nowadays, even nowadays, we see the majority of people there, not the majority, but the thing that takes out the statistics every once in a while is the people that die between the ages of 22 and 27 years of age. That crazy youth to where you think you're still invincible and you do crazy shit and you get into car accidents and you fall off cliffs because you were trying to take that, awesome fucking selfie.
People die every year in the Grand Canyon trying to take a selfie. A lot. There's like 8 people that die
It's
every
crazy.
year.
I know, dude.
Trying to take a selfie, bro. And that's just like on the Arizona side, not even including the other side for Utah and Nevada. Right, and it's just
it's not a statistic for the Grand Canyon, just the Arizona part of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right.
Yeah,
I've been to that lookout, and I went to that lookout, and that was
8 of them are trying to take a selfie and they fall off the edge.
No, I mean I was getting close. I wanted to look, but I'm afraid of heights, and so what happens is usually if they've got like a guardrail or something like that, you can look over. There ain't no guardrail. There's no shit. It's just and it's dusty fucking ground, and you start to slip and slide if you ain't wearing the right shoes.
One gust of wind and you're over, and it's a mile drop. You're gonna die.
There ain't no catching a cliff or catching a tree limb or something. It's just sheer rock all the way down. You're done. And
Yep.
so I would stay at least a yard or a yard and a half away
I
from
wouldn't
any
go
of
within
those
3
edges.
feet of the edge. I
Yeah,
was
that's
when I was a
that's a
kid. I
yard,
probably
3
would have been
feet.
sitting on the edge because I had no fear of heights. Somewhere along the line, when you hit a certain age, having your ass above your head is not something you like anymore, and having it
Yeah.
being too high
I
in the
agree.
air is something you don't like anymore.
Well,
So
my
that
fear,
in by the
my
time I
fear
Wait a
was
minute. I have a question.
yeah.
I love doing downward dog. That makes my ass above my head. Like, what are we
Yeah, we're talking about like for long periods of time. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
good.
we're talking about an extended period of time, not just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes meditating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, that's not conducive.
Oh, it's for meditation. Is that it? Oh, okay.
Right.
He's like, oh, the downward dog's for meditation, is it? I gotta love Miguel.
I
Look at
had
the
no
answers.
fucking idea.
He says,
It
not
is
just
downward
relaxing.
dog is yoga?
That's for yoga. Yeah.
That's what they call it. Okay.
That's what they call it.
Extremely relaxing. Let me tell you, definitely.
Should try it sometime.
Right.
I do Tai Chi.
Norma.
I do
Oh.
a slow version of yoga. I do Tai Chi, right?
I do enjoy Tai Chi. I did that for a while after I learned Kung Fu, and you know, my Tai Chi master said that, well, Tai Chi is just Kung Fu slowed down.
It's just
And I
slow
noticed-
motion. Yeah.
And in the same things. Why? Because it's the natural movements and the flow of things, and it's building up that energy and transferring the energy and moving the energy and just being one with the flow of the situation and making sure that it just doesn't come near you.
Yep.
That is all.
Yep.
You're not hitting them. You're not punching them. You just
In
say,
fact,
okay, you
in
do
the
your thing.
art
You
form,
can do what you want.
art form. I would suggest to anyone, if you know martial arts, you have everything in martial arts, and you can attest to this, anybody who's been in there, is always quick reflex for the combat. But to round out your energy, your chi, and the art form itself, I would suggest to everyone to do Tai Chi, because that slow motion that you're doing is more precise with energy than you will ever imagine when you're not doing that, and you're trying to do the quick jabs and moves to get the fire.
Because you don't do things precise. You don't do things precise if you're doing them too quick. Why? Because anytime, I'm going to punch that button. You hit here, you hit here, you hit over here, you hit over there, you hit over there. It's not precise unless you do it slow,
accuracy
and slow,
yeah,
and slow, and then once you have that muscle memory,
once
you have that muscle memory, then you can just.
First two knuckles.
First two knuckles. That's where the power of the chi is.
Well, actually,
come on, Mike.
Actually, whenever
came back.
The Dutch ball.
Look at Leanne's, dude. She's got a good one.
Leanne's got a good one too.
Yeah, you got one too.
Yeah. Healer
Mike's
for you.
Developing. It's changing. Yeah, our palms.
I had it before.
And there's bird poop.
I'm left-handed.
And there's bird poop on her hand.
On my right hand, you can't really notice it, but I am left-handed, and I usually like.
That's why it always starts. It always starts with your whatever hand you're dominant. It starts there first, and then it'll appear like I'm left-handed too. So if you look at my left hand and my right hand, you can see it far more definite in my left hand than my right hand. Right?
There you go.
Yeah, I guess.
Yep.
Sure.
I got hands too.
Okay.
I got hands too, she said. Now you guys both are working on it. You guys are getting it. You know, I'm a Reiki master teacher, so I've had that for years, right? I started Reiki when I was 24 and I'm 54. So for 30 years, I've been attuned.
Yeah.
Do you
Well, see,
understand?
a lot of that stuff.
You know,
A lot. I mean, just to get it. When I was in the States,
Leanne's now Reiki. Now watch that bird just go, oh, right? She's Reiki in the bird. And look,
oh
look
yeah,
at the bird.
I see that. He's centering the energy of the bird. Look at that.
Yeah, and the bird is. Did you see the bird relax and just go? Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah,
The bird is actually just chilling right now.
Chilling.
Exactly. Thanks for the energy, Mom. You're giving me a fill up.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
For those of you listening on the
My mom,
podcast, she's
too.
giving Reiki to a bird.
Well, see, the whole thing is that I was brought up in Texas and Oklahoma.
Look at him. I love you too, Mama. I love you too. Look at
Yeah,
him.
he's so wonderful. I
do that to the girl cat. She'll sit in my lap, and I'll reach over and I'll just. And what's funny is they can sense it just like he did. I'll put my hand over her and I'll start raking her, and I won't say anything, and I'm up about 4 or 5 inches off her body, and all of a sudden she'll go meow. She's telling me thank you for that, Daddy. You know what I mean? And my mom will go, did she just meow? I'm like, yeah, she's telling me that she likes the energy I'm giving her. She's acknowledging, as if I was petting her. She's acknowledging the love.
Yeah, you have to speak cat.
Yeah, you have to speak cat. Yeah.
It's
I eat
awesome.
all animals, right?
And Leanne definitely speaks bird. That's more than obvious now.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
she
how I
knows.
found out that I spoke light language because somebody heard me talking to my birds. They said, "Did you know that that's light language?" I said, "That's what light what now?" Like,
Yeah, that was the first video when they told me that you were going to be on the webinar. Obviously, I went in to find out, and the first thing I saw was your light language video. So that was some beautiful stuff. It was kind of bizarre in the beginning because you came in and you didn't do much because you were setting your energies up. Once you started, it's like, wow, okay. So it was a whole nother. Yeah, y'all, all four of y'all are where I ain't yet. So I'm just grasshopper learning.
But you're in places that we're not yet.
Right.
So
Yeah.
remember that.
Exactly.
It's all relative.
Yeah, Peter's telling us that over in Ireland at the cliffs there, over 200 people go missing every year from trying to take selfies after taking pictures of themselves.
Wow.
So right, and that's the Colleen, right? Colleen after cliffs. So it's the cliffs, and they get swept away by the air, or they make a misstep. They don't realize they're so close. Trying to take a selfie, fall off the cliffs, and die.
The thing is that people concentrating on their phones all the damn time now. They aren't in the moment. They aren't even in where they're at.
Right.
They didn't even know where they're at. They walked in.
When you're crossing the street, how many people have gotten hit by cars because they're so busy, like,
or an accident.
Moron who stepped off a cliff. Why? Because he's so busy swiping up to get the fucking Pokemon that he's. And it's not funny, but it's funny.
Really not.
That Pokemon app.
While I was in the hospital, he's in a department store, and the worker is standing there, and he pulled up the grates from the floor because they were feeding, the overstock down into the guys who were stacking it down below. And he looks up, and this guy's walking with his phone, and he's looking at the guy, and he says, "Hey, look out!" And the guy's walking, looking at his phone, and fell straight through to the bottom, to the next floor down. Luckily, he didn't hurt himself. He landed on boxes. And then when he was like all surprised, like, what the fuck just happened? Oh,
you got a wake up call from the universe. That's what you got.
But that was exactly the intent of those things.
Yeah.
To keep, that's like the metaverse.
Yeah.
Yep.
You will no longer be present in this reality.
Game was developed by a CIA programmer. Yes.
Well, yeah, because they were trying to find out how they could.
So they don't see what we're doing, and they can never remember who they are. Keep them fucking hypnotized. It's so.
That's
it's
right.
Metaverse, like Aaron said, with the holograms, and not know what's going on, and never look up, and never see. And who cares if they die? That's the purpose anyway. Right.
Yeah.
That's their purpose is to either put you to sleep or have you recycle. So they don't give a shit what happens to you.
Wait a second. Wouldn't that be one of the purposes for that $60 million that was spent on pipes and needles and all kinds of things for people to be safer when they're killing themselves?
Yeah. Well, that's like this whole game that we play with. Look what's going on in Ukraine right now, right? We don't want to go to war because Americans don't want their children to die. But what we'll do is we have this clause in war that's called war by proxy. And what's happening now is that both sides are arming the same people. And guess where they're buying the guns from? It's the same people. Right. So the corporations who got fat on America were the ones who had petroleum and manufacturing weapons. Who do you think is the 1 billion or whatever it was, $15 billion, $100 billion that the president just signed for a bunch of weapons that guess who's paying for them? We are paying for them. Yeah. Over here, we, with our taxes in America, are paying for the weapons that they just decided to give to the Ukrainians to keep the Ukrainians fighting the Russians, while the Chinese are propping up the Russians. And who do you think is manufacturing all the weapons? It's not America. It's got to be China. Somebody. It's the same corporations, the same companies, and they're just going, here, you guys all fight each other, and we'll get fucking rich, and we don't care what happens over there anyway, because war is no business.
Lottie plays with Jane. Jane plays with Willie. Willie is happy again.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
So, I mean, let's be serious, guys. You turn on the news and they're going, well, we don't want to go to war because why? Well, Americans are going, you're not killing any more of our people. They're like, all right, that's fine. What we'll do is we'll just kill Ukrainians and Russians and we'll get paid for it. Good idea.
I mean, it seems like a big circus, but there are people getting hurt and dying.
There are people who are getting hurt
on both sides. And
I'm
not going to, all wars are wrong unless you're defending yourself. And, when you have Americans building laboratories, biological laboratories in Ukraine. I mean, if I were Putin, I'd probably get a little nervous and have to make a move too if I were in that position.
Well, and then you got to love the propaganda where they're saying that that's a lie and that didn't happen when the federal government itself said
later. Hold on. They were saying They were saying no, it's a lie. You can't say that. There are no biolabs. But then when the high up lady actually was testifying, there are some laboratories that do some medical research, and it would be good if the Russians didn't get their hands on those.
Yeah, Victoria Nuland had to say it. She had to say it because you get a big trouble for lying.
Right.
Well, see, that's the thing. They try and avoid that lying thing, which means that they'll be he's been lying for his teeth.
They lie because they never lie.
But see, Fauci has got Gates as a backup, so he knows that he's untouchable.
He's never done anything wrong in his life.
Right.
You know what? His poop doesn't stink either.
Right?
Yeah,
right. I'll tell you. Yeah, and in his mind, we all worship him there.
Yeah.
Because he is the science, right?
Yeah, he is the science. Yeah.
No.
Where's he been, by the way? I'm waiting for his Nobel Prize.
What, his Nobel Prize for developing AIDS or his Nobel Prize for killing half the planet?
No, anthrax was bad enough. AIDS was bad enough. Anthrax was pretty bad, right? Barack Obama sent a woman to jail for talking about the anthrax.
He sent more whistleblowers to jail than any other president.
Yep.
He's the one that started
but see, he got the Nobel Peace Prize, and he's also been one of the most destructive twice. And he's actually been one of the most war-mongering presidents that we had.
He had more war going on under his regime than the last 4 presidents.
Yeah. I mean, Trump ramped it up. So he took it.
Hold on. There were no new wars started. He was the first president in 40 years to not start any new wars.
He just continued the ones that were already there.
Yeah, which is enough. But see, you also had Clinton, who had wars already going on. He started off in Somalia and everything else.
But I'm not into hero worship.
Right.
But see,
it's not hero worship, but it's about truth. Because we can't put all these people into the same thing.
He stopped all the wars, and they refused to give him a Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah. So I guess you have to continue a war to get a Peace Prize. You can't stop wars and make peace, because then you can't get the Peace Prize. That's right. Unless you're not
how many peace in the Middle East deals were there? There were 5. Go, Leanne.
I just have a question. I watch Exopolitics, and I like Michael Salla, and I like watching these guys because the idea that Putin's invading the Ukraine because possibly one of these space arcs is there and it's activating, and the other stories that are going around about what's really going on, not what the mainstream is telling us. And then I'll go with a random thing like the wildfires in California. If you the high-speed rail that they're proposing, it goes right on the line of the wildfire.
Yeah, it's not weird, right?
Talk about
coincidence.
There are no coincidences, and nobody's paying attention because they're so busy screaming about whether somebody's gotten the whatever or not, or taking sides, going into the polarity, getting sucked into the duality and into the material, everything that there is. It's just so, I don't know. So bleh.
Well, I mean, it's unfortunate because the truth is stranger than fiction.
Right.
When you actually see all of that, you go, man, B613 couldn't have done better than this with a plot.
Well,
right? You know what I mean? You look at the plots of this and you go, my God, I've seen books that pale and movies that pale in comparison to this. And that's why,
but it is a movie. And we're also watching it. It's a pretty fucking B movie. Because, you can tell what's going on now.
It's a really bad summer blockbuster. There has to be a better movie. If I were a being.
I mean, I'm all for a free willy version of life now. You know, just let that
I look at
motherfucker
it
jump
this
over
way,
the pain.
guys.
You
The
know,
movie 2012 was a very good inclination as to what would really be going on. You know, I remember Oliver Platt when he was in that, and he was like, "Look, we're just leaving everybody behind," and he was like, "These people are people. We can't just leave them behind." And they're like, "Really? Do you want them in your room?" You know what I mean? And it was like you had to have 100 million euros to have a ticket. So it was obvious that the rich and the elite were the only people that were going to get on the ark. And, you know, and the truth is, let's look at what Leanne was talking about at a serious level.
See, that's supply and demand. You can't have
Right.
something for 7 billion people, which is why Georgia tells us that we have to maintain everybody in 500 million in perpetual sustainability.
They're looking out for us.
They're looking out for us, man.
They love us.
Yeah, they got our back. There's supposed to be 7 billion less of us in whatever time frame they have, but they're looking out for us.
But we're conspiracy theorists when we actually start paying. Like, I went to a Rudolf Steiner school, okay? Like, and before I was at the Rudolf Steiner school, I was at Le Lycée Français de New York, like so I got to experience like the array. Talk about pendulum. Talk about juxtaposition, and talk about mixed freaking messages.
Yeah.
Like the strict ones had me till I was 7. So like. After that, I got released into the Rudolf Steiner way, which, you know, don't watch TV. Here I am, a kid from a freaking entertainment family. I'm not going to watch TV right now. Like, and I didn't understand. I resented that. I was like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Right.
However,
you're making a living on entertainment, and you're being told to not watch.
Right, but this again, like I'll say it. I've said it before. Likely, this is why it would be down to me and 2 other girls, and I wouldn't book because somewhere in my vibration, I knew that the shit that they're pimping is so messed up. Like we're programming people with this nonsense. Like I want to be in things that, you know, make sense. Like so Critters 2, Girlfriend from Hell, like that, but like that's also a space person or a space thing that comes into a container and wreaks havoc and then leaves, you know, but she fixes everything before she goes.
Right.
At least. You know, so like any of the horror movies I've been in are really like less graphic for gratuitous.
You like more of the what was it? The
Brother from Another Planet.
window. Sherlock Holmes. Sorry.
By the way, Leanne, my Brother from Another Planet.
Beyond the Window.
What it represented and the storyline, I loved that.
And the fact that John Sayles played one of the Men in Black. That like I didn't understand what a Man in Black was back then. I didn't get it. Yeah. And even when I watched the movie Men in Black, I didn't understand what it was based on because I wasn't into psychology. What at all?
I watched Men in Black, and I'm like, this is all they're telling us. There's more to this, I know, but oh well, that's all they can tell us right now.
Right.
Well, when I was told that Hollywood was slow drip, I was like, wait, it's what? And then literally, I had to sit quietly and go through everything, like relived my whole life from a different point of view in my head, and like I did my own life review. And whoa,
yeah,
wow, like I was just
right. That's that moment in Fight Club when they're like, put the trays in the upright position and buckle your seatbelts. We're coming in for a landing. Remember that when he realized he was Tyler Durden?
Yeah,
yeah. That's the moment she's describing when she was like, what?
I haven't actually watched that movie, so I'm gonna have to watch it because.
Oh yeah, dude! I would highly recommend it.
I just ruined the movie for you. Forget what I just said and watch the movie.
I know you did, dude. Spoiler alert!
I assumed like Star Wars, everybody has seen Fight Club, bro. I should have. I should have said, children, anyone who hasn't seen Fight Club, plug your ears. This is, sorry. Spoiler alert.
So when I was younger, I'd watch like Enter the Dragon, and I watched that. What was that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? Where he was fighting in the arena battles over in Asia, and
that was a true story, by the way, where he played.
Well, exactly. Bloodsport, exactly, and that was one of the actors in that was one of the fighters in blood sport.
Randall Tex Cobb was in that, and he was actually a martial art champion. In fact,
Exactly.
he got into it with Jean-Claude Van Damme, because Jean-Claude Van Damme claimed to be the world champion at the time that Randall Cobb was. They got in a fist fight in France because of that, and Randall Cobb was whooping his TV ass. Yeah, I'm a fan of Randall Cobb because he was a badass. When he did that Uncommon Valor, he played Sailor in that. That was right after he was champion.
Well, yeah, he's in a lot of movies.
He just looks like a big bad motherfucker.
Arizona, you remember that show, Raising Arizona?
Yeah, he was in that.
Oh my God, I love that.
That was like one of his first films, bro. That was on
your head.
Good movie.
Raising Arizona was a good movie, definitely.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Holly Hunter and Nick
Holly
Cage.
Hunter. Yeah, Holly Hunter. Yeah. She's tiny, but she's a great actress. And
yeah, she was. She is a great.
Oh, absolutely. And she carried her weight in that movie. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Everything she was in, she was tough like that.
Yeah.
She was
always
very woman empowering. She didn't let her size, screw around. It was, that she was like every character.
Because she understood that it's not about your size or your actual ability. Right. It's the resonance that you can impose on the other.
Your frequency and your vibration.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, look at the actor here. What was that movie, Sweet Home Alabama? Right. And look at the character that she plays. She's like 5'2", and she was the strongest.
It's so funny. She's another one, tiny, mighty.
Yeah, right. Every character that she plays is very empowering, and she's a very empowering person. So in that movie, she dominated all the characters in that movie. She was she was the most dominating character on the entire show. Everybody else was secondary to her presence, even though they were all stars within their own right. It just, when you see her act, she's just that. That's the way she is. She demands that, not because of ego, but because of who she is. You know what I mean? I'm a fan. So, yeah.
Oh, watch Leanne's work, like when she's with Molly Ringwald. Her scene, dude, she's fucking like hands down. Like, you could just tell Leanne has like a lot more presence and she's a lot more.
Agreed.
But I was such an asshole back then. I uninvited myself with my own behavior.
Well, when we're young,
you're a rebel. You're a rebel. It's okay.
I've done it. Yeah, just a little bit. Right. Just, you know what? That reminds me of Starman with Jeff Bridges when he said just a little bit.
That was an excellent fucking movie,
right?
Awesome fucking movie.
Yeah.
Starman.
Especially when he had apple pie for the first time, or the lemon custard. Remember?
You remember the movie Michael?
Michael? Yeah.
I thought thinking about that when my friend calls it cake bird.
That's a good one too.
Cake, Andy McDowell. It smells like
I'm gonna have sugar. Why? Because I want some sugar. I like sugar. What's the problem with sugar in my cereal?
Right. I love that.
I love it.
I
want to come here so often. So.
And then you got Phenomenon. Phenomenon was another movie that just
that was a good one too.
Phenomenon. That was with him as well, right? That was that one where
no. Phenomenon was with John Travolta. John Travolta was in Phenomenon.
Michael was John Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta. Yeah, Michael was John Travolta as well.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. That's right. He was Michael. Shit, I forgot that was Travolta.
Yeah,
you're right. It was both. Yeah,
right.
that guy.
Melissa in the audience is saying Powder. Now there's another one.
Oh my God!
I've seen that one. I never could watch that one all the way through.
Melissa, also yes. Let's go back to like 45 minutes ago. Chicken soup with matzo balls is also
right. You said that.
I've never had matzo balls. So what is a matzo ball?
I don't know what a matzo ball is.
Okay, matzo ball is like it's. You know what matzah is? Those flat things.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the dough.
It's non-rising bread. It's unleavened bread.
Matzo balls is a Jewish tradition, right? So it's unleavened bread.
It's like a saltine with no salt on it, kind of.
Okay. Yeah.
But you grind it up and make meal out of it, and you mix it with an egg, and you can put a little onion powder or whatever, and then you put it in boiling water. And then
it's a dumpling. It's a dumpling without ferment.
Like a dumpling.
It's a dumpling. Yeah.
I know how to make dumplings.
If you're a redneck, chicken dumpling.
Oh yeah.
I was actually thinking of those Chinese restaurants, those dumplings that they put in the soup.
Oh, dumplings. Yeah, those are good
too. That's why I grew up with chicken noodle soup and chicken and dumplings. You would drop the bread in there. You do the same thing.
Too.
Make it.
See, there they would use bread, which was leavened, because you already rise it. But the matzo balls are a Jewish tradition, which means that they use the unleavened bread. Why? Because the yeast can actually be negative for you over time, plus the fact that it's harder to get. So you want to have things that are
Yeah,
easy for you to
culturing
produce
yeast
and
is not an
survive.
easy thing to do if you can't just buy
Because unleavened bread doesn't go bad.
Oh, yes, exactly. That's whenever you're walking 40
That's
years
why
in
they
the
called
desert.
it manna originally, or mana, depending on your accent.
Mana, yeah,
Unleavened bread.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mana from heaven. But I thought those were the mushrooms that would appear on in the morning dew.
Well, yeah, that's hard to say because if you look at, I've seen the documentary where they said that the Ark of the Covenant, what was in there was actually a machine that actually made
It wasn't
seaweed, and the seaweed was manna. They made seaweed bread out of the seaweed. They made it into unleavened bread, and that's what
the Ark of the Covenant
also got argon out of
40
that.
days and 40 nights, or whatever it was.
The Ark of the Covenant is actually a huge fucking capacitor from its structure. Okay, so it wasn't actually manufacturing anything. The people that carried it ended up dying of cancer at an early age.
Yeah, anyone who opened it, they all died of cancer because it was
no. The people who opened it died instantly.
Yeah,
but the people who carried it also died because it's a huge fucking capacitor because of the structure that it had. It
was like a nuclear processor. It was like a microwave oven.
Exactly. So it would be microwaving the ground as they were walking over it. Yep. So imagine what effect that would have on whatever was on there.
I mean, you got to look at that thing right there. That's one of the reasons why I take a look at, when you look at different scriptures and you go, okay, so wait, so hold on. I'm supposed to believe the all-knowing, all-loving, all-caring God was giving a device to the people and hovering over them in their cloud city spaceship. And they were walking around,
like Mr. Subliminal,
right? They're walking around carrying this device that's killing everyone, and that's
but wait, you forgot about the weather modification because they would have tornadoes during the day and firestorms at night. Right. So you have a weather modification there as well. So you've got those vortexes following and everything else, which would be indicative of directed energy weapon, which we have today.
Think about this: the reward. Moses shows up and says, "Let my people go, Ramses," and Ramses says no, and then he goes, "Okay, well, I'm just going to tell you that God's going to fuck you up with all kinds of shit." Okay, let's go past that. Now everybody wants to leave, so they're all leaving. God rewards them by saying, none of you get to find the place of milk and honey. You're going to wander in the desert until every motherfucking one of you, who is supposed to be a slave, mind you, is dead. And then when we get there, Moses, you and your family can't come here either. Go into the desert and die slave. And all the rest of you, you can come back into Egypt now because you're innocent. What were they guilty of? I'm sorry.
I have an idea.
Something in the Bible. Am I not?
She says, I have an idea.
Let's
hear it.
They used to do like radio shows, and they would have like noises in the back, and somebody would go like, by the whatever, and then you tell the story, and then you'd pop the balloon for the gunshot or whatever it is. Like, I think Leonard. I think Leonard should get a bunch of people together and do the Bible, but do it like a radio show.
I have a sound card too.
Just replace the words. Don't even call it a heavenly body. Just be like, and then the spaceship came and the aliens.
There you go.
Right.
Do it from the modern perspective, like Giorgio Tsoukalos was trying to do with Ancient Aliens.
Well, in that case, just read the book of Ezekiel, and you'll have all kinds of spacecraft going through there.
Oh my God!
That wouldn't be a bad idea, though, Leanne. Honestly, do it that way and not tell people that you're doing the Bible and actually translate it into aliens and all that stuff. And then at the end of the whole thing, then tell people, oh, and by the way, that was from the beginning of time.
Now, that's the kind of movie I would rather make. If somebody wrote that script and said, I want you to play the part of whatever, and really it's the story of the Bible, but we're telling it, it's kind of like Book of Mormon. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Oh, God.
Kind of like the Book of Mormon.
Wait. Wasn't this the guy who got the book from the Indians who had it before, and they said that he could have as many wives as he wanted as long as,
He took mushrooms in the wilderness, and he saw God.
Oh no, that was the other guy who rode around on a camel for 40 years and convinced people to kill everybody else.
Well, didn't believe him.
So he just went off. He saw all these
translated, and she hid it from him and said, "Oh no, the translation got."
Norman knows it, dude.
You're gonna have to retranslate it, and then he said, "I can't retranslate it because God's mad now." So he couldn't retranslate when he translated the day before, even though she took it from him and lied. And God should know that she lied. But he said, God's mad now, so I can't retranslate that. I can only.
Oh yeah, because she said, yeah. Oh my God, there's a South
Yeah.
Park. There's a South Park episode on this, and it's so funny because as they're doing that, as they're like trying to figure it out, you can hear this like music in the background, dum 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 dum. She's like, okay, so she takes it to see if they can retranslate it. They're like, smart.
Between South Park and The Simpsons, we could actually solve like what the missing link is, probably.
Right?
Right.
Trey
I know.
Parker,
They were
they were the greatest freaking writers. Oh my God, they were so beautiful writing that stuff because they took that stuff and looked at
Oh
it
man,
in
I
a
like
literal
Mel Brooks.
sense,
He's my favorite.
right? And they said, "Look at this shit. Are you believing this? Let's be honest with ourselves
You
here."
guys should watch. Hey, you guys should watch People of Earth. Have you guys seen it yet?
That's actually
It's a
pretty good.
TV show. It's well written. Like I don't like just sitcoms. This one's about a guy. Like it's about experiencers, right? They've been abducted. They don't call themselves abducted. They
Right?
call themselves experiencers, and they're having this little group.
Experiencers.
But it's hilarious, dude, because they start
Dude,
to find
Space
out
Force is also
holy
really
shit, the reptilians, the Nordics, and the
Greys.
Greys are
Oh,
all
what
like
show
working
is this
against
on?
them.
What
It's
is
on
it?
Hulu.
Hulu. Okay, good. I pay for that.
People of Earth.
I'm gonna have
It's
to.
hilarious.
Yeah, it really is. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna look that up.
Well written too. Like I
Space
was
Force
like,
is hilarious
this is
too.
actually something.
Like I don't know. Like
Which
actors
one
don't
again?
usually call casting directors, but I figured out who the casting director was on Space Force, and I left like my wacky Leanne Curtis message, like, "Oh my God, I know actors aren't supposed to call you people, but I'm calling because like
Because
I would do it under 5 on your show."
Right.
Hilarious. John Malkovich. I won't spoil it, but in the second season, he and the kid from oh gosh, what's it called? Silicon Valley.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the goofy looking kid. Yeah.
They've got an interview at SpaceX, but the interview is on a Zoom, and it requires them to put goggles on. And so, right? So Chen's like, "Wow, this is awesome," and John Malkovich just goes, "Oh, I'm feeling rather dizzy." And he's like, "I'm really not feeling well." And Chen's like, and then they start going back and forth from Chen, who's like, "Wow, this is really cool." And then there's John Malkovich crawling around on the floor with his goggles on. I'm feeling great protection.
Malkovich, another awesome.
Great actor.
God.
because he
Did
doesn't.
you ever
trust
see the
himself.
movie Being John Malkovich?
Yes,
Yes.
he's jumping
Oh
on
my
the
God.
profile.
Right? love that. Love
Funny
that.
fucking movie.
Great movie.
Absolutely.
Another one that was way ahead of its time, groundbreaking. That was insane. That movie was good. That was like
You know,
I remember that one
I
up
just
with
watched
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as far as
Hitchhiker's Guide to-
bizarre, crazy.
Abba Kabula.
Oh man, Hitchhiker's Guide is just
Oh,
too much.
love that
That
movie.
thing was fucking awesome.
The
There's
the
a
book.
thing in
I
Caroline.
didn't actually watch
Great.
the movie. I read the book. It just
The book is better.
fucking
The movie was funny.
Yeah,
it
a
was
lot more
fun. It was
detail
good.
in
It was
the book.
zany. They did a good job with the campy English humor. But the book is way better. Book is way
just
better.
don't forget your towel.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and don't panic.
forget your towel.
Don't panic and don't forget your towel.
Yeah, don't panic. Don't forget your towel. And make
That's
sure
a
you
good
feel damn
thing to
well.
live by. I mean, don't forget. You always need your towel, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, in my case, it hasn't been a towel. It's been my sarape. And that thing has saved my ass. I have done road trips
Probably
up
that
to.
Oh, Norma's got a freaking war robe that looks like she's been through a few wars in. I mean,
Well, see, that's the thing.
old.
My
Still
sarape
nice.
is actually. I used to instead of staying in hotels, I'd park in a hotel parking lot and I'd get into the camper of my pickup, right?
Yeah.
And the hotel fare I'd use to buy a video game. You know, that was just me. I was 20 years old, so that's
Right, right.
what I do, right? But whenever I was in the back of the camper, that sarape would just cover me up and but going through it was like at 25 degrees outside, but I was warm in that camper with my sarape. And there have been places where I needed a pillow. The sarape actually was there. You know, there are things to where that thing is been through thick and thin with me. It's been 30 years since I've had that damn thing, and it's still
Wow.
lying on the side of my bed. I mean, it's always been
Yes.
there.
Right? There you go.
that's cool.
I mean, mine's probably not going to last me 30 years.
All right, y'all. I
but-
think I need to wrap it up, or you guys can keep going. I need
No, it's okay. I got to go too.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
we're almost 2 hours. We're at 6 p.m.
We're
I gotta
almost
get out.
that's it.
So let's
Tonight was a
mention
good one.
Sacred Awakening event
Yes.
coming
There
up.
you go on Saturday.
Yes.
Right, let me put the banner back up here, guys. On Saturday, you guys want to take a look? The tickets are on sale. It is
I got a new
10
banner
a.m. on Saturday. We'll be live. We're going to start this Sacred
10 a.m.
Awakening
Pacific time,
Pacific America
Yep.
time, West Coast America
which is
time.
11 Mountain, which is 12 Central, which is 1 Eastern, which will be 2 o'clock mine. Now that you guys have
GMT
the
minus
time.
8 now because of the time change. We used to be
Exactly.
GMT.
I was thinking it was going to be 3 o'clock in the afternoon my time. Now
Or
it's
the
gonna
other way
be 2
around. I'm
o'clock
sorry,
in the
minus
afternoon my
6
time.
because we sprung forward. GMT minus
Exactly.
6 for those of you around the world. So get your tickets. There's still a few available. Make sure that you take a look at that, guys. We'll be on the air on Saturday. It's going to be a nice retreat. It's going to be good stuff. We're not going to be sitting and doing what we're doing now and laughing and having fun and arguing about shit. It's going to be each one of us are going to be conducting ourselves in an appropriate manner for the things that we're going to help you to
We
achieve
may cuss,
on
but
that
it's
day,
all
right?
in healing.
I might even be coherent.
Yes.
Trust me.
So I figured out how we're gonna go. We're gonna go Mike first. Like we'll open it, and then it'll go Mike first, and then Leanne. So Mike will go on for an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, probably an hour, and then we'll have Anne. She'll come in and right before him, she'll do like what Leanne's doing with Omar right now, which is doing the stretches, doing the yoga, and then
Right,
we'll have
that'll be
Mike on. Then Leanne will be next. After a little break, we'll have a little 5 or 10 minute break, and then Anne will come in and do some more yoga. So we're going to be challenging. I love that idea. That was a good idea,
Right?
Omar.
Yeah.
But I'm stealing it. So thank you for the inspiration.
That
Anyway,
works.
and then we'll have then we'll be on, and then Leonard, because Leonard's he's the earliest, so he'll be fine. Like he's at
Yeah.
starts at 10
I'm
a.m. for him.
early
It starts
in the
like
day,
what
so
2 a.m. or 2
yeah.
p.m. for Mike.
Right.
Yeah.
Or 3
No,
p.m.
but it was 3, but since you guys moved it up, now it's 2 for me. So
okay.
it's a good thing. Since I'll be the first one on, it's good to know
So
when we
Mike
start. Holy
and
shit.
us, be me and Norma. We'll probably do one together. We'll just see how it works out, because I might add to what you're doing. Norma's got something really
I
cool
do.
planned. If you guys
Good,
want to
good.
talk about what you're doing, go ahead and let people know so they can. Yeah, go to my
Well,
webpage or my Facebook page, and you can find the link right there on my post. It's pin post. So if all y'all want to pin that post for tomorrow or for Saturday, until Saturday, I can't talk. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Perfect.
I'm getting excited,
That
though.
works.
I'm getting excited.
Yes.
Things are
It
coming
is.
together,
It
and
is.
it's been like the last 3 weeks have been. I know for all of us, the last couple of months have been really
Trying.
Well, this is what? This is
hard. And I
episode
think we're
17.
coming out
This
of
is-
that. We're getting into
This is
real-
episode 16, is it not?
Yes.
Yes.
So that means we're coming up on 4 months, basically, that
Yep.
we've been doing this, and
And the full moon.
we're
Isn't that crazy? That went
and
by
the full
fast.
Yeah.
moon. We've
I know
gone through
4 months
cycles.
in, right? Hey guys, you know what, we're doing all right though. And you know what, really quickly, I wanted to say that I've been pushed into restarting the Law of One from session 1 and
There you go.
redoing that because it was 4 years ago now when I started it. And
Yeah.
in the
You
place that I
haven't
was
learned
in then,
anything since then.
Yeah,
You
I haven't learned a
you
damn
grown
thing
at
since
all.
but
What's the point?
not only myself, but other people who are teachers have said, because of where all of us are now, not just me, but them as well, they've said, maybe you should go back now and do it again.
People will be much more
every time I
interested
go
than
back,
what they were
and anyone
before.
who's ever read those, every time you go back, because you evolve yourself, you go back and you read it and you see stuff you didn't see before
Yep.
because you're in a different place.
You
I
can
think we want to do
right?
some. I think we need to do some more connecting with spirit, connecting with the star people. I'll go on your show and channel it, dude. Like we'll connect with something. If you
Right?
want to do,
I think we should
cool
do that
shit,
too.
man.
We should do that here
Yeah.
as well. I think we
Yeah,
need
we
to
can do it
really
here,
step
too.
up our game when it comes to doing the stuff that we're doing. Because if everything's right and all these aborigines around the world are talking about this 3-year cycle of activation, we're coming to the end of that this year. At the end of this year is the end of the 3-year activation
Mhm.
of the cycles that we're trying to push. And the Schumann resonance is off the charts right now.
It has been going
and been
nuts.
growing for 3 solid years. People need to understand that, and I think we need to start pushing people. And that's what I'm doing on my show. I'm pushing people into that place that is above the thinking mind and above the ego's reach, to where
There you
you're
go.
in that witnessing, you're in that experiencing state of your own actual real soul consciousness. And I think we need to really kind of push people to that more than we have been, because just the way things going. Could just be my opinion.
Oh, I've seen
but,
like
Yeah, it works
there's
too.
actual. We're gonna actually get a ring when we ascend. When Earth ascends, we're gonna get a ring, like a Saturn ring or Uranus. We're
Yeah.
gonna get a ring. It looked like it was pink, from what I saw.
Julie says, "Yeah, go snarky." She's talking about me doing raw again.
But-
Go snarky.
No,
Yeah,
That's
it's
snarky
like,
raw.
I don't know. That's a
I'm
weird
sure
little
all my
thing.
fans would
That
call
was
raw
something
snarky
pretty
raw.
big to me.
no, yeah. Oh, snarky rot. There you go.
There's all kinds of stuff we can talk about as far as paranormal because
Right.
I'm a fucking paranormal. I'm the epitome of paranormal. So is Leonard. All of us on here, really.
I'm Norms,
Yeah.
so I can.
I
just
mean, Mike
chime in.
says he's catching up.
I'm
This
not
motherfucker's known a
paranormal.
lot
I'm
of
just
things. His
I'm not
soul goes-
paranormal. I'm just weird.
Yeah, well,
It's okay. You were just gonna say I'm
Yeah.
not paranormal. I'm Abby normal.
there you go.
I tell people
I
I'm not
actually used to get
paranormal.
called
I'm
Abby
super
normal all
normal.
the time.
I'm not
Uber
paranormal.
normal.
I'm super normal.
Uber
That's super
normal.
normal. All right, y'all.
Caroline
Thank you
Corey,
very much for
superhuman.
being
You know,
here.
she's got that movie.
Hey, don't call
They
me
busted
human.
it
That's
up
an
into,
insult, man. We're above those.
They busted
Right.
it up into episodes on Gaia, but superhuman. That's also actually a good. Speaking of super, and she's got a
Right.
new
We
movie
can do
coming
that.
out.
We can do a lot of that stuff. That's part of
Yeah.
what this the Sacred Awakening is going to be. That's
We're
what
all
this retreat is.
superhuman. We just again, it's been
Have to tap
suppressed.
into it.
It's like all of the junk DNA. That'll tell you what star family you're connected
Yeah,
to.
your
There's-
junk DNA is not junk. It's actually there, and it will
Not
be used
junk.
depending on the.
They have to
Yeah.
make it
all
junk.
these-
Yeah.
Because-
They call it
DNA
junk because they can't
royalty.
figure it out yet.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
They
they-
haven't
You know
figured it out.
what?
They call junk DNA is royalty DNA. Okay.
It wouldn't
Exactly.
surprise me if they have figured it out.
Yeah.
But they don't want
Yeah.
to tell anybody.
Even more reason to.
Yep. Agreed.
Exactly.
Agreed. And I'll bet you're
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
that
I
directed
would
energy
make
thing
sure
that Mike was
Leanne's more
talking about.
accurate
But
than
get this.
not when it comes to
You
that.
know what?
Agreed.
I feel like if every human knew how to use their instrument properly,
Yes.
Yeah.
like we also all have all of the information. We
Yes,
have it
we
in
do.
our DNA. All of the
The
questions
Akashic,
you
we
could
can
possibly
squeeze
into
want
the
to
DNA.
have answers
We
for
just have to
you
release it.
already have the answer
Yep.
in your field. It's already
It's already there.
we are so
Yep.
disempowered by these idiotic ideas that
Because
have
of our
been
mentality,
shot
we
at.
are in a prison of our
Yes.
mind.
Yep. These
Well,
spaceships
that's
we talk about,
the
they're
idea
there.
of our
We're just,
own
you have to
device.
get
There's
yourself
the
to a
freedom.
level
Once
of
you take
freedom.
accountability for what you're thinking, you free yourself. And once you realize to go inside is to, it's just so like,
Is your reality holding you back?
And the answer is always yes.
All
Until it's not.
All right, y'all. I got to take off, but much love to all
Much
of you.
love,
Thank
guys.
you all for being here.
155. It's a good one.
Saturday.
Thank you very much, everybody.
We'll see y'all
Enjoy
at
the
the
talk.
retreat this Saturday.
I'll see
So,
you guys
much
Friday,
love.
and then we'll see you on Saturday for the retreat. I'll be live Friday still, and then Saturday's the retreat. We'll see you guys on Saturday.
You're on
And
Facebook
wish-
still,
and
right,
wish
Leo?
Miguel a happy birthday. His birthday is Friday. He's going to turn the big 5-0.
Oh,
I
half
didn't
a
remember.
fucking century.
that's right.
Mike,
Welcome to the half
Miguel,
century
awesome,
club.
man.
Milo
Happy birthday.
Pena is going to be 50 on. So, welcome to the first day of your 50-somethings on
That's
Friday.
right.
Which
I'm
means the
57.
birthday of the
Okay. I've
Before I'll be
Welcome to
55 in
freedom,
September. I'll actually be a senior citizen officially. You
Oh,
in
wow.
September. Yeah, I'll be 55.
Congratulations for the benefits.
Right? Yeah, the benefits 10% off everything. Yay,
Oh,
baby.
yeah. And the cane
right,
and the
gotta go.
wheelchair. It's all good.
Much
stuff.
love to all of you.
Our
All right,
good
guys.
night.
Peace.
Our
Enjoy. Good night.
and love to everyone.
Love and light.